They've won 5 out of their last 6 games. That's since October 13th. They have been just dominant on the pitch. But in that run, the one loss was to this team, Creighton, right here on this field.
It was indeed. And let's take a look at the key players in this matchup tonight. And for the visiting Marquette Golden Eagles, it's their leading scorer, Luca Perpa.
Yeah, Luca Perpa has been just a staple for this Marquette team since he arrived on campus. He was the Big East Freshman of the Year. Now, for the 3rd time as a junior, he's Big East first team, 5 goals on the season. 4 of those have come in the last 6 games. And on the other side for the Creighton Blue Jays, Joel Riedstrand. He is the trigger man for this offense. Big East Midfielder of the Year, as you see right there. Everything runs through the midfield for Creighton. This is where the game is going to be won and lost. It'll be an interesting battle between Riedstrand and Perpa in the midfield.
The winner advances to the Big East Tournament Final on Sunday. The loser goes home. We'll have the kickoff live from Morrison Stadium in just a moment. It is Big East Tournament Soccer here on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
Back in chilly Omaha as we get set for this Big East semifinal presented by SoFi. Marquette and Creighton just a couple minutes away from kicking off here at Morrison. Time now to bring in the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Emma Brosh, who is on the touchline with keys to tonight's match.
Thanks, Tony and John. Chilly night out here in Morrison Stadium. Looking forward to a great matchup between the Creighton Blue Jays and the Marquette Golden Eagles. The Blue Jays and the Golden Eagles are tied at an all-time series 7-7-0. The Creighton Blue Jays actually defeated the Golden Eagles earlier this season at home 2-1. So looking at some keys to the matchup tonight for Creighton, preventing a defensive breakdown. They have been in control of the game 90% of the games they've played until the last minute or whenever they have a big defensive breakdown happen, and that's when other teams capitalize on them and get a chance on goal. So if they're able to prevent that tonight, they will be able to keep a clear sheet. And for Marquette, it will be weathering the storm. Creighton has not been scored on the first half this entire season, so for Marquette to be able to weather that storm throughout the game and create opportunities for themselves, they'll be able to stay in it. So looking forward to a great matchup tonight between the Golden Eagles and the Blue Jays. Back to you guys.
Our national anthem in the books as we are just about set for soccer. These two teams shaking hands, exchanging fist bumps. That's about the last time they'll be friendly for the next 90 minutes, maybe more. John Schreiner, it's that time of year, win or go home. It's going to be intense. Who knows what's going to happen over the next 90-plus minutes. Of course, if we go to overtime, if it's still tied after overtime, we'd have penalty kicks. That's exactly what happened for Marquette in their quarterfinal match, going to 9 rounds before defeating Xavier. They're pretty battle-tested coming into this one, while Creighton are rested.
Well, there's no doubt about the battle-tested nature of this Marquette team. They started off the season fairly poorly, to be honest. They were not performing up to the standard that their coach Louis Bennett wanted. And then over this last month, this lineup that you're going to see from Marquette has really just put it all together. Rasa in net has been phenomenal. Ended up being the goalkeeper of the year in the conference. You've got, of course, Luca Perpa, who Sunnison has 5 goals on the season. Connor Alba's chipped in. This lineup has really come together lately.
Meanwhile, Creighton, again the number 1 seed, 7-1-1 in the Big East regular season. Goes as high as number 8 in the country as we look at their starting lineup. It's headlined, at least in terms of goal scoring, by Sven Koenig, who led the conference with 10 this year.
Yeah, Koenig, the offensive player of the year in the conference, and he's a poacher. He just finds himself in the right spot and buries his opportunities more often than he doesn't. And the one to watch is in that midfield pairing, Kuba Pola and Joel Ridestrand. So solid on the ball, they dictate the tempo of the game whenever the ball's at their feet.
It will be Marquette who will get this match underway by kicking off at center. As you see Luis Barraza jogging back to his goal mouth. Marquette are in the navy blue tops and bottoms today, trimmed in the gold. Creighton are in their whites. Tops, white bottoms with the royal blue numbers. Referee John McCloskey blows the opening whistle, and we are off and running in this Big East semifinal presented by SoFi. This Creighton, as you see, attacking from right to left. Marquette then left to right. Ball comes toward that right side in the midfield area. And a step past the Creighton defender was Connor Alba. Now the Jays have a chance to counter. They immediately hit Joel Ridestrand, who brings Koenig into the play. A couple of Golden Eagles. They figure to have a lot of possession. They like to possess the ball quite a bit, John, but Marquette, not a team that's just going to sit back and bunker. That's not their style. No, they will not park the bus. They're going to come out, they're going to press, they're going to be active. This is not, if you watched Creighton play Denver in that high-profile match earlier in the season, the styles couldn't be more different between Marquette and Denver. Denver came in 10 men behind the ball, sometimes 11. They were just not going to let Creighton score. Marquette, much more free-flowing. They want to get out and run. They want to dictate tempo themselves. This should be a fun one. I would be completely shocked if we don't have at least a goal on the scoreboard by the end of this week. Yeah. Marquette, not a team that plays for nil-nils. They scored 25 this year. They conceded 20. So they'll score them, they'll beat them up. As we get a free kick going Marquette's way. Creighton, on the other hand, they had a very stingy defense throughout the year. The one area where they were susceptible sometimes, and this was the case in their first meeting with Marquette this year, was from free kicks and set pieces. Yeah, and it's just an organization and communication thing. You have to be so on it. And for a team like Creighton, who's so switched on offense, sometimes those letdowns can happen when you think, okay, set piece, we can take a little break, and then bang, ball in the back of the net. Ball swung into the Creighton area. The Jays defend that away and then earn a free kick. As Joel Ridestrand was nudged in the back. Well done, Wicks! Something that head coach Elmar Bulovic talked about earlier this week. How we need to defend crosses much better than we have lately. Both the goals they conceded against Georgetown in their last match, a 2-1 defeat here at home last week, they came on set pieces. To the midfield, a foul not given. Now the advantage played, and dribbling it off his own heel was Luke Hawkinson, and Marquette with a chance to counter, but a good read by Mitch LeGros to get across and clear that away. He's doing battle with Lucas Sunnison, who I mentioned in the match. 5 goals in the season for the freshman from Tabby, Sweden. Not fazed by the cool temperatures here in Omaha. He's seen games in these conditions before. You can bet on that. Sunnison named to the Big East All-Freshman team. Here's Akeem Ward. Getting it to Hawkinson. Koenig. He's surrounded by 2 and then 3 defenders as they tackle it away. 4th minute of the match. Ward wins it back. Switch of play toward the middle. It was Gibson trying to flick it on. Just one forward for Marquette at the moment. That's Sunnison. Creighton deal with that easily. We've talked a little bit about the weather tonight, Donnie, but begs the question, who's more suited for these conditions? The team from Omaha or the team from Milwaukee? Well, it's always a big X factor this time of year, isn't it? You get to play postseason time in soccer, it's always November. If you go deep into postseason, deep in the NCAA tournament, you can go all the way to December, and the conditions get tougher and tougher. Which teams adapt to it and deal with it the best? That's a big part of determining who winds up a national champion. In this case, these two teams hoping to play for the conference title on Sunday.
But for both at this point, Donnie, it's also big in the race to get to the NCAA tournament, because Creighton can ill afford to lose to another team that's below them in the RPI. Their RPI has slipped down to 30 now. And for Marquette, who's had their share of struggles this year, virtually their only way to get in at this point is going to be to win this conference tournament.
Right. Fifth minute of the match. Bit of a testy opening 5 minutes. Tends to be that way with this much at stake. Ward, Rydstrand, now Polak. The forward passing options were covered, so he switches to Julius Ford. Julius Ford and Mitch LeGros, that central defensive pairing that the Jays have had throughout this season. Very experienced part of that Creighton back line. The reason between their defensive resurgence this year after they struggled, conceded way too many goals from their standpoint last year. Meanwhile, just looking to attack, that ball a little undercooked.
Hawkinson just not sharp on the touch. He was looking for Ward to flip down the corner as Ward had found some space, but just not sharp enough on the touch from Hawkinson.
Julius Ford wanted to play it toward the right. Mishit his pass, now has some defending to do. Just able to flick it up and eventually away from Lucas Sunison. See Sunison marauding at the front of that Marquette attack, just hoping to pounce on a mistake. Wind is blowing left to right, so it's blowing against Creighton and in Marquette's favor in this first half. It's not a terrifically strong breeze, but it is noticeable. Flag. Providence, by the way, lost in the Big East semi, the other Big East semifinal earlier today to Georgetown. So it is the Hoyas who will await the winner of this match. If Creighton win, they will host that final here at Morrison Stadium on Sunday, since Creighton are the #1 seed. Georgetown probably rooting for Marquette, because if Marquette were to win tonight, then Georgetown would host Marquette for the final on Sunday.
Although, for Georgetown, it might be pick your poison, because if Marquette go on and win this one, that would be 6 of their last 7, and that's a team that nobody's going to want to play. As you know, Creighton winning.
Rydstrand blasting one just wide to the left. But yeah, you're right, John. Marquette, like we talked about in our open, arguably the hottest team in the league in this match, as we take a look at the buildup in this eventual shot from Rydstrand that he pulls a little wide.
Yeah, some uncharacteristic space for Rydstrand from about 25 yards out. So O'Connell venture a crack, just missed at the near post.
Wanted a foul, now they get a foul. They take the free kick quickly. Barraza is way out of his area, had to get there once he committed, and he did. Oh, an adventure for Luis Barraza there.
And the foul back here, and Creighton played it quickly, and it's Rydstrand kicking into the leg. I believe it was
Salmerson.
Salmer.
Long ball forward toward that Marquette area. Going back by Rydstrand. Here's Ward. And a drive toward that box. Cut past one, couldn't get past a second. Here's Tashira. Now Marquette look to counter. It was Perpa for Sunison. And just tackled away. Good defending by Mitch LeGros. Marquette looking to reset that attack, but a bit of a heavy touch from Josh Cohen. Free kick going Creighton's way. Marquette don't like the call. Creighton from that free kick, restarting play in the 10th minute, 0-0. By a couple, so immediately played it out of danger. He's being a little cautious in the midfield. Marquette are sat back a little bit early in this match. Flipped along in the direction of Ward, but misplaced.
It's kind of been a little bit of back and forth through the midfield, Donnie. Kind of what I expected in these two teams. Two teams that are going to attack hard at the other. That's a recipe for a lot of turnover in midfield and kind of few opportunities early on before someone figures out kind of how the other's doing and what their style is going to be tonight.
That's sometimes how it goes in these postseason matches, isn't it? Teams are a little tighter, a little more reluctant to make a mistake than they would be during the regular year. Throw on the near touchline. Louis Bennett, 23rd year as a head coach with over 200 victories. Big East tournament champion in 2013 with Marquette. That's the last time they reached the semifinal. A few rebuilding years to get back to this stage. Given it'll be a throw instead.
And Akeem Ward down in some pain. We'll get a replay and see what exactly happened. And looks like after the ball's gone, there's some contact there. Probably not foul material, but it might be sore.
So Ward trying to recuperate his... This time of year, you're going to continue if you still have two legs, but you can see Ward struggling to shake that one off. Oh, bad pass there, turned over. Here come Marquette. It was Perpa toward the edge of the area. Sunison couldn't control the first time. Now Josh Cohen. He's capable of delivering an excellent cross, chose not to attempt that yet. Low ball into the area, easily dealt with by Julius Four. Marquette maintain the attack. Connor Alba. And then Stephen Bowen wins the goal kick as it deflected last off the attacking player.
Good defending, and the Creighton defense, when it finds itself under pressure, this is what Emma was talking about, not having the big breakdown, and Akeem Ward comes up with the big sliding challenge and gets it to go off the Marquette man. Good defensive series right there for Creighton.
Again, Elmar Bolowich said earlier this week that Akeem Ward is probably our most consistent player. There's a tackle that's penalized as Marquette will have a free kick right on that halfway line. Standing over it, and we'll leave it. Oliver Passarelli. Chased down by Hawkinson, goes back to Barraza. Mike Koenig was sniffing around for that. Alba wanted to thread that through for Sunison. Perpa. On the left it goes. Stepping around one, right-footed effort wide of the near post.
Well, that's a good look at goal. see it right here. Finds a little bit of space. And heading for that near post. I think Cruz had it covered. But again, another good opportunity created by this Marquette attack.
Good job by Gibson to win that header in midfield, but it falls to a Marquette player. This is Stefan Bohm. Udai Tashiro knocked that off a player. Boy, good control by Kupa Polot to take that out of the air. And then Polot for Rydstrand. Just trying to build some possession after good spell of play for Marquette. 15th minute of the match, 0-0 in this Big East semifinal presented by SoFi. Hawkinson switches it all the way on the right. Yunus Budati. We haven't heard from much in this match. He's been key on the flanks for Creighton this year. This is Budati now. That corner flag. Wanted to give it back. Now does to Tashiro. Gibson on the little overlap. And a heavy touch. Might get a second crack at it, but it's played out into touch instead.
It's so hard to get the ball cleanly from Gibson with those long legs at 6'6".
Creighton pinning Marquette back over this last minute. Now the Eagles can break. Sunison up by himself and can't get past the first defender. Again, it's 4 to snuff him out.
Might have been a handball in there by 4. It wasn't called. It might have been a harsh one to call, but I think it did come off his forearm.
It's Legros with plenty of time and space. And Julius 4. By Creighton. This was an issue for them at times this year, though, John. Good build-up plays. There's the dummy. Left for Koenig, edge of the area. Koenig sends it across, deflected, and then clear away. There's Bryce Gibson. His shot was stopped by the defender right before Gibson knocked it away.
That was beautiful. Koenig held it perfectly, too. That's the dummy. Hawkinson just lets it roll. Koenig running on. Good run inside by Ward. And it was Gibson coming from the backside. Cleared out.
2 players go to ground. No foul given. And you see the Creighton player staying down.
Shoulder, hey, shoulder.
I believe that's Gibson.
It's Gibson on the ground holding his shoulder.
That's a bad sign for Creighton. 27:52 left in this first half. Gibson back up, still nursing that shoulder. Anytime a player's grabbing at that shoulder that way, you always fear there was a dislocation. Doesn't look like that happened to Gibson this time, fortunately.
Creighton has had some, if there's been a trouble spot this season, it's finding a consistent wing to play on that right side. Tashiro was playing out there. They moved him inside. You've had Ferris at times doing some good things out there, but not a lot of consistency. That's been one of their struggles.
Now a chance for Hawkinson. Gets to the end line and tried to play Rydstrand through. Cleared out for a goal kick that touched Rydstrand last. There's Hawkinson, though, getting free on the left after cutting across and finding some space.
End-to-end stuff, Donnie, exactly what we predicted. It wasn't hard to see coming.
Both teams love to pressure the ball. Marquette handled the press well there. intercept by Budati, and then he kept it in play, but Marquette tackle it right back. And it's Budati retreating, and more neat one-touch passing by Creighton to play their way forward. Ward runs onto this.
You wanted to say right there that was great vision by Hawkinson, but he couldn't see that. That's feel and communication to play that ball. He's not looking that direction to know that Akeem Ward is running over on the overlapping run and to just lay that out in space.
Ward allowing that to run out of play. We're going to have the first substitution of the match for Creighton.
Gibson still treating that right arm pretty gingerly.
This is Ziad Ferris coming on for Gibson. Ziad Ferris, another good pickup by Creighton over this offseason. Played 2 years at Yavapai College. Made his debut in the first game of the season against Clemson and scored a minute after coming on. And here he is now on the ball. Spreads it out on the right for Budati, and he blasts across way over the bar. I believe that was meant to be a cross and not a shot, but Budati got underneath.
Harris is really good with the ball at his feet, and see Akeem Ward all alone at the back post. And that cross just not at all in the right direction from Budati. He must have mishit it, because he wouldn't hit it that direction on purpose, I can tell you that.
Sunison had it touched away from him by Ward, but then a sliced clearance. Falls to Alba, and then Perpa. Patrick Segrist, and he couldn't control it, and it runs out into touch. Those are the little moments in a match like this that can haunt you sometimes. We don't know what would have come of that for Marquette, but Segrist had a chance to bring that under control and maybe play a dangerous cross in, but that never happened because it went out of play.
Well, it was a mini breakdown. I won't call it a big breakdown, but a mini breakdown at the back for Creighton with that slice clearance that gave Marquette an opportunity.
Jays with a bit of a half-hearted yell for a foul, but especially in a postseason match, you see it in every sport, don't you? Referees tend to allow a little more physicality. John McCloskey, our referee tonight, letting play flow as much as possible. Approaching the midway point of the first half. About a quarter of the way through normal time. Neither team with a shot on goal yet. Creighton with 2 shots, both off target. Marquette with 1 off-target effort. And the winner advances to the final on Sunday. Stephen Bohm closed down. Ziad Ferris harassing him. It's a good toe from Polwatt to poke it away from a Golden Eagle. Toshiro. Elmar Bulovic called Udai Toshiro the little pit bull earlier this week. Just 5'6", but such a spark plug for this Creighton team. Ward, Polwatt, back to Ward, just kept that in play for Toshiro. Polwatt sees the run of Ferris, hits him in stride. Ferris with a cross across the face of goal, still loose, and it's 1-0 Creighton. Poked home by Luke Hawkinson, and the Jays have the lead in the Big East semifinal.
It's a little bit sloppy defending from Marquette. The ball gets rammed inside the 6-yard box, and that defense just fails to deal with it. Barasa couldn't get a hand on it. Neither of the center backs able to clear it away. And Hawkinson pounces on it and slams it home.
See that initial shot blocked, and Hawkinson just stays with it and finds that loose ball.
It's a good run by Ferris. And a good ball to just hit it back in the mixer and see what happens, and something good came out of that.
It was a pretty good finish, too, from a pretty tight angle. He didn't have a lot to aim for there, even though it was point-blank range. Could Could easily thunk that off the post. And it is Creighton who strike first, just as they did 2.5 weeks ago when these teams first met. Creighton scored about the same point in the first half. Marquette were then able to hang around and finally found an equalizer in the 78th minute before Creighton regained the lead just 34 seconds after that. That was how Creighton took the first meeting 2-1. And again, Creighton with the lead in this one. Be a free kick coming for the Jays after the foul that victimized Yudai Toshiro. Jays fans certainly into this one now.
Well, they'd have to be, Donnie, or they're going to freeze.
Not much of an alternative on a now less than 30-degree evening. This free kick goes against Creighton. Now, if you're Marquette now, you just want to survive the next few minutes and kind of regain your equilibrium, don't you?
Yeah, and the thing about Creighton is that they will not sit back on a 1-0 lead. It's not the Jose Mourinho style of play where you get an early goal and then you bunker. They will not do that. They will go hunting for 2 and 3, and if you let them, 4. So there are still opportunities out there for Marquette. When Creighton gets forward, they love to get those outside backs involved. So there are counter-attacking opportunities on the wings.
Here's an opportunity to put a ball into the box. Tipped by Cruz, not cleared, and it crosses the line. And Marquette strike right back. 1-1 in the semifinal.
Well, how about that?
And it appeared to be Luca Perpa who bundled it across the line.
That's the man who's been on a hot streak of his own. 4 goals and 3 assists in his last 6, make it 5 goals in his last 7 games now for Luca Perpa. Just been unstoppable in front of the net.
Boy, great interplay down that left side. And Paul Cruz.
He got a hand to it.
Yeah, but not enough, was it? Just kind of deflects it into the danger area. And boy, he almost made the save from the rebound, but again, couldn't quite get enough on it.
So, a couple of minutes later, back to where we started.
Well, we said there'd be goals in this one. The first 2 of the match come 2 minutes apart.
Well, that also breaks the streak, Donnie. Creighton had not been scored upon in the first halves of games this season. Marquette becomes the first team to do it.
We should credit Zach Wegner, too, because it was he who put that cross into the box that Paul Cruz couldn't quite deal with.
Yeah, it was a really nice run of play down that left wing.
Jay's trying to regain the lead now. Ferris, Toshiro. First time ball, didn't quite get enough on it. Inside 20 minutes to go in this first half. Wind has picked up a little bit as we've gone deeper into this match. Blowing left to right at a higher clip. Still blowing against Creighton. Koenig to Ward. Toward the touchline, Ferris, can he keep it in play? He can. Couldn't put a lot on the cross, however. Marquette dealt with it. And then the Jays hunt down the ball and win it back, but couldn't quite hit Koenig as it slowly runs out for a goal kick.
Boy, Ziad Ferris, since he's come into the game, has been a problem for Marquette. He has been on the ball and been dangerous. He created that opportunity for Luke Hawkinson to score on Creighton's goal, and just right there created another one.
Passarelli, good ball forward, touched on by Alba. Jays read that. Toshiro closed down. Space for Budani. Hawkinson contesting that aerial ball. Called for the foul.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what he did, Donnie. instead of keeping his eyes on the ball, he looked down and looked at the man and then leaned in. You're always going to get called for that.
Good turn by Budati, but then dispossessed. There's 4 who stepped up to intercept now. Space for Creighton to counter. This is 3-on-3 at the moment. Koenig, Ferris from a tight angle wanted to cross. Ferris gets another bite at it. We're at the top of the 18. And Creighton have Marquette pinned back. They bring 4 into the move. And he spreads it for Budati.
A really aggressive high press from Creighton here now.
Toward Ferris, read by Bohm, only as far as Ward. Keem Ward cuts it against the grain. Onto the run of Rydstrand. Rydstrand dancing into the 18, curls it toward the back post, and Barraza right on the line keeps it out.
Hawkinson almost had his second.
And boy, from our angle up here in the broadcast booth, and I think the fans down below us, they thought that was in.
Well, we're going to get a good look at it right here. Hawkinson gets on the end of it, and ooh, that is close. That is very close. We don't have goal line technology, but I would love to see it applied on that one.
Yeah, you suspect that Barraza just did keep it out. Remember, the entire ball has to be across the goal line for it to be a goal. Probably was not entirely across, but like you said, John, sir, looked like it was awfully close.
Certainly Barraza had to push it out to keep it from coming down on the ground inside the line. Whether it actually got across, well, that will remain a mystery.
Now it's Marquette's turn to attack. Creighton scored first. Marquette answered less than 2 minutes later. We've had nearly 29 minutes of high drama already, with plenty more to come. And there's Koenig closing that ball down.
Diego, well done. Stay on the point. And move. Move.
Bohm taking the throw. Good move as he slipped past Ferris. Couldn't get past Ward, though. Bit of a dangerous ball, but Toshiro gets there first.
I'll tell you, Wagner playing in that holding midfield role is being really aggressive, pressing up when balls are played across the midfield. He is charging forward. Marquette trying so hard to create opportunities on the turnover in midfield.
Paul Cruz had an excellent freshman campaign in goal for Creighton. As Elmar Bolovich was saying earlier this week, he's not your typical freshman. He's 20 years old instead of 18. Played a couple years in a men's league in Germany. So he's been playing against 28, 29, 30-year-olds. It's a lot different from coming straight out of high school. And now here's a slaloming run. But Joel Rydstrand was halted eventually after he danced past a couple.
Yeah, Cruz comes from a really good academy. TSG 1899, one of the top tier clubs. I mean, obviously Germany, you think Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund, to some degree Wolfsburg, but TSG consistently in the top flight of German football.
That one kept in play, but offside was Koenig.
Tight call.
Yeah, and he thought he was in. Great ball from Ward. Jays didn't care for that. Even 14 minutes to play in this first half. Marquette from that restart. Went long in the direction of Diego Nunez, headed away. Nunez, who's gone up top for now for Marquette. Now Perpa. Trying to get past Toshiro, could not. Ward deals with the aftermath. Jay's not able to clear convincingly yet. Marquette continue to apply the pressure. Missed header leave some work to do for Stefan Bohm, which he did. This is almost like a basketball game with one team having a possession and then the other up and down the floor.
And on that last one, on the turnover, Marquette didn't retreat at all. They still had all their players about 10 yards inside Creighton's half. They are selling out completely, and you would expect them to, given the comments of Louis Bennett this week, said he didn't think his team had anything to lose. They're playing with house money.
As you pointed out, they've already been tested. They've already come through a match a few days ago in the quarterfinal that had about everything that you could see over the course of a pressure match. They were behind, they came back to lead, they conceded a late equalizer, survived a long penalty shootout. Here's a cross to the top of the 6. Ward is there, and now a slicing volley goes wide. Connor Alba couldn't quite direct that on target.
Connor Alba, another junior, came in at the same time as Luca Purpa to this Marquette program. Chicago Fire Academy. He's played some high-level soccer as well in his young life and has been a key cog in this late-season push for Marquette.
Louis Bennett said we didn't really get it right until about halfway through the year, but they've certainly gotten it right since then. Slipped through to Bohm. Couldn't get a cross in, but he does win a corner off of Ferris. First corner of the match for the Golden Eagles. First corner of the match for either side, for that matter.
Well, this will be interesting. Creighton gave up a goal on a set piece to Marquette when they met in the regular season. Here's the first real threatening one of the match.
It will be taken by Luca Purpa with that left foot. The in-swinger deflected toward that far post. Almost an own goal. Now volleyed high and wide, and the Jays can breathe.
Well, it's not your ideal scenario, as Polot tries the spinning flick clearance that barely stays out of his own net.
It's not a great idea with your chest to your own goal, but he got away with it. Awkward ball to deal with. Great ball in by Purpa. And we saw that 2.5 weeks ago. Marquette have excellent set-piece delivery. It's part of why they were able to give Creighton so much trouble from those situations. They can give them more trouble here. Purpa surrounded by 2 white shirts. And then a free kick goes in Creighton's favor.
And now Polot gets the foul call, but gets a stern talking to from the official.
Yeah, it looked like John McCloskey was initially motioning to him to get up. But maybe that's a little more serious than he thought. A little stud to the back of the ankle. That is a painful one.
Just got that instep toe stud raked down the Achilles. That doesn't feel good.
Yeah, it might not look like much contact, especially in cold weather. That can be really painful. I'm not sure John McCloskey was entirely convinced, but Kuba Polot receiving attention.
And now he's asking for a change.
Wow. Well, that's certainly not good for Creighton. Polot's been an essential part of their team this year. We have 10:25. The clock stopped with 10 minutes and 25 seconds left in this first half. A round of applause. And boy, you see Polot not putting very much weight at all.
And Donnie, that's not the foot that he got raked on.
Yeah.
So I want to see that replay again and see what happened to his left ankle. We'll take a look. He comes back, comes from behind. You see the toe comes down on the right, but he's favoring the left. You see, he goes to the left ankle.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what the deal is there.
Jays are screaming for a free kick. That was not given.
Tore Troston on for the Blue Jays now.
Troston's been an interesting player this year. He's had his moments.
Yeah, he's been kind of a typical freshman, you know, in that mold, how a freshman can come in and when they're talented, they can really inject some things into the team, but they also have those moments where they get lost and they're not entirely sure what they're doing.
Ball turned over. Here come Marquette. Stephen Bohm being guarded by Ferris, slips past Ferris toward the end line. The Jays were there. Now it's Marquette who have that initiative again. Pendulum has swung back and forth throughout this first half. And the Golden Eagles hardly backing down. You knew they wouldn't. But they turn it over here. And it rolls to Koenig, who tries to return it to Udai Tashiro. Again, Marquette just survived. Both teams living dangerously at the back. Stick around at halftime. We'll have interviews, highlights, much more during our halftime report. The second Big East semifinal of the day. Again, Georgetown defeated Providence 4-0 in the first one. Opportunity now for Diego Nunez. A right-footed effort blasted just over the bar. Substitution for Creighton now as they get ready for the ensuing goal kick. You see Daniel Espeleta jogging onto the pitch. He's going to replace Ziad Ferris, who appears to be hobbling a bit himself as he walks off.
Couple of knocks picked up early here for Creighton. Gibson, who started the game. Polot, who's a staple in the lineup. And now Ferris coming off a little hobbled. Certainly not how Bolovic would have wanted to start this game.
Interestingly, the referee pulls this back for a foul. Marquette would have just assumed the play advantage, but they restart. Inside 7.5 left in the first half. Level at 1. We'll speak to Creighton head coach Elmar Bolovic at halftime. He'll be with Emma Brosh in just over 7 minutes. As it stands, level. See if one of these two teams could find the lead before the half. The ball was on to Purpa there, didn't take it. Instead, it's onto the run of Connor Alba. Has to check back and now slides it through. Purpa drags it wide. Oh, he was in a good position and may have had a little more time than he thought he did.
That is a golden opportunity for Luca Purpa to double his scoreline. And oh boy, that was poor from that Blue Jay back line. Porous. Nobody covering Purpa on the run. Nobody goes with him after he gives it up. And he almost put it in.
That's got to be frustrating from Creighton's standpoint, too, because it wasn't like Purpa made an especially brilliant or slippery run, and Purpa does that a lot. He'll move all around the pitch, and he's very difficult to track, as Elmar Bolovic said this week. He said he'll take up any position he wants to on the field, and so you can't man-mark him. But in that case, a pretty straightforward run, and the Jays didn't cover him. But now Creighton looking to come forward, ball over the top. Not going to find anybody in white. It'll be a throw instead.
Yeah, and it's strange, Donnie. We saw Creighton playing a very sharp game up to the point when they scored. And since then, we've seen stray balls, we've seen sliced clearances, we've seen just a little lack of focus for the home team here since they scored, and evidenced by the immediate answer by Marquette.
Tashiro acrobatically knocked it out of the air. Now here come Creighton with Hawkinson. And just high as Hawkinson couldn't quite keep that shot down. Barraza looked like he had it covered, even if Hawkinson had.
Well, Hawkinson started playing on the left, and then When Ferris came in, he moved over to the right, and now Ferris goes out. Espeleta comes in. Hawkinson's back playing on the left again. Right here, left-footed effort. Just, he wanted it to dip. He wanted to get that top spin and bring it down, but it just wouldn't sink.
Hawkinson now fouled by that midfield stripe. He's in discomfort.
And I think this is a rough one, Donnie. This is a player in the air jumping to play the ball that gets a leg taken out from under him. Kind of surprising that there's no card issued there.
Yeah, we've not had a yellow card yet in this match. Again, it's been a pretty meaty one in terms of the challenges, but again, postseason tournament game, that's often how it goes. Referees very reluctant to issue cards, put themselves in a position where they might have to send a player off and change the dynamic of the match. As Ward wins the throw on the near touchline. A big sliding challenge there as Stefan Bohm won it. Jays, though, tackle it back. Hawkinson, he wanted to slip Koenig in. He's off a Golden Eagle foot, however. Perpa, his run was thumpingly halted by Rydstrand. He's had a really good first half. Bouncing around on this turf. Jays settle it down to Shiro. Forward to Koenig. Oh, he left it. And Tor Trostin didn't make a clean connection with it.
Yeah, and I think Trostin wanted to just play that into Koenig's path on the little give and go. He didn't connect with it cleanly, as you said, and there was a Golden Eagle right there.
Final 3 minutes of the first half. Barraza calming things down for just a bit. The way this match has gone, that likely won't last. That run's just out of play. There's a Marquette throw, and they put it right back in play. 8 shots for Creighton, 5 for Marquette. Frantic around the midfield. Now Ward tussling with Alba.
Connor Alba's done a great job out here against Akeem Ward, who is an all-conference defender and one of the better players at his position probably in the country. And Connor Alba has done a really nice job against him.
And Ward hasn't been able to get forward quite as much as he would like in this first half, has he? Because Alba has forced him to respect his offensive ability in the other end.
Yeah, and Alba's been, quite frankly, brilliant so far. Hasn't really shown up on the score sheet as of yet, but he is a problem.
Here's Trostin with Koenig forward. Trostin just ran out of room. It looked like it might fall for Daniel Espeleta. Now it will be a free kick for the Jays in a dangerous area. And Marquette's bench cannot believe that.
I didn't see much in it. I thought Trostin jumped over the sliding player and didn't get contacted. We'll have another look.
Ooh.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's not one John McCloskey will enjoy seeing when he watches the replay of that. Now the clock is running with 1:07, 1:06 to go. So the clock is restarted as Marquette are setting their wall.
Well, Julius Four was the last to touch it. That's usually an indication of who's going to take it.
It is 4. Tashiro is also standing a little further back. It is Julius Four trying to curl one. He does, but right down the throat of Luis Barraza.
And that curl was too good.
He got it open over the wall, but still an easy save.
Yeah, it just bends right into where Barraza was standing. He was playing that side all the way.
Down to 23 seconds left in the half. Sliced out of play by Rydstrand. Both teams content to let the final seconds run out in this first half. So 45 minutes gone, 45 at least to come here at Morrison Stadium in this Big East semifinal. Luke Hawkinson opened the scoring. Luca Perpa answered back less than 2 minutes later. It's 1-1 between the Jays and the Golden Eagles. Let's send it down to the touchline where Emma Brosh is standing by with Jays head coach Elmar Bolovich.
Tony and John down here with Coach Elmar Bolovich. So going into the half tied at 1, what will be your main emphasis for the second half?
Well, I think we have to generate a little bit more offense, especially in the final third. I thought the play in the midfield was okay, but we had a bunch of turnovers coming out of the back and couldn't get in a rhythm because of that. So we need to tighten up on this. But I think in the final third, we need to see more movement off of the ball from our players to create a little bit more chances and also to basically dislodge their defense.
So anything specific you plan to focus on to break down the Marquette defense?
Well, I think in general we are just too passive when we are bringing the ball up into their half of the field, and in that we are just standing and waiting for the ball to be played in the feed. I think this is a game also where you need to, maybe drag a defender out of position, and then a third man runner comes in and we need to find that guy. But we need to see more movement, definitely.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. So 1-1 at the end of 45 minutes at Morrison Stadium. Highlights and more coming up next on the Big East Digital Network, this Big East Tournament semifinal presented by SoFi. More from Omaha next.
This is not a place that stands still. We are a community rooted in faith, nationally recognized for undergraduate research, pushing boundaries in business and healthcare education, and engaging the world, always striving to be the best in what we do. We are inspired and motivated by our outstanding students who will make their mark on the world. We stand together on the edge of our bold tomorrow, open to incredible new possibilities. This is our passion. This is the Creighton difference.
PKs, what a celebration. Luis Barraza, we've talked about him all throughout the campaign as well. He had the key stop when he needed to get it, and that's what you need to make a deep postseason run. And here for Marquette, look, they're not going to get an NCAA tournament at large berth. They've got to win this tournament, but they've got the keeper to make that kind of a run.
And how about that, John? It's their first appearance in semifinals since 2013. That season, they went on to win the Big East tournament.
Incredible. This is a team that, for me, we saw them at Seton Hall, and they did not have a good night. They lost 2-0. It just didn't go their way. But Louis Bennett's frustration from that night, his team responded to that well. They're a different team at home. It's certainly challenging to be out in Omaha for Marquette, but you have to give them credit with the way that they've answered the bell after that tough loss early in conference play and have been able to grind out quality result after quality result.
And you have to think about they're playing Creighton. They've already played them during the regular season, which Marquette did lose to Creighton. And after that game, head coach Louis Bennett said, of course we're disappointed, but he said his team had a slow start in the first 20 minutes of that game. So the difference here tonight is you're obviously going to want to see that fast start from Marquette. Going up against Creighton, the Big East regular season champs.
This Blue Jay team got it started against Clemson in their season opener in Omaha, and they haven't looked back since. They have all the pieces and parts for a deep NCAA tournament run. Akeem Ward in the back line has been a difference from the start. You had Paul Cruz on, the keeper, who's a freshman, who stepped right in and assumed the role. I mean, what more can you say? And Sven Koenig drives that offense. They've got dudes, and at times you've got to have those guys that can change the game with one play. Creighton has several of those guys, and they are a collectively strong unit shape-wise that starts with their defense.
And John, Sven Koenig, during all his matches throughout the season, he's averaging 2 shots on goal. That's not even just shots that he's getting off during the game. Those are on target. That says a lot about what he's doing.
It does, and what it also says is that it's not just Sven Koenig. You can't just be a one-man crew. This Creighton team came together after last year. They just didn't have it last year. They lost in the Big East quarterfinals to St. John's, and that's well below their expectations. This is a program that's gone to something like 23, 24 the last 25 or 26 NCAA tournaments. It's a crazy stat like that. In the last quarter century, if Creighton's not in the NCAA tournament, it's shocking. And last year they didn't get there. This team came back together. It says a lot about what they've been able to do with some youth, Paul Cruz in net. They found their way. They found their way, and that goes back to having an incredible home field advantage and a coach in Elmar Bolowich who knows how to win.
And the chemistry as well. When I had Sven Koenig and Paul Cruz on the show, they were just talking about how well they've gotten together. And you mentioned it, Paul Cruz coming in as a freshman, having that much success. He offers it all to his teammates about the fact that he was allowed to come in and really perform.
He was, and that's kind of the culture that they have there. I'm interested to see, though, how Creighton responds going forward. Sometimes a loss is the best thing that happens to a team. Maybe that defeat to Georgetown at home to wrap up the regular season was a humbling thing for them to then be able to move off of.
And they've had time to now work on it, think about it, get fresh legs and everything. So we shall see how this game finishes up. That's going to do it for us. Enjoy the second half of your game.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Halftime at this Big East Tournament semifinal presented by SoFi here on BEDN. The Marquette Golden Eagles won and the Creighton Blue Jays won. Again, these two sides are playing to determine who advances to the Big East Tournament final on Sunday. You see the bracket there, and you see who's waiting for the winner. That's Georgetown. The Hoyas dominated Providence earlier today at home. 4-0 the final in that one. So Georgetown watching and waiting to see who will come out of this tournament semifinal here in Omaha tonight. And again, if the Jays were to win it, they would host because they're the #1 seed. They won the regular season title. If Marquette were to pull the upset, they're certainly capable of doing that, then they would travel to Georgetown. Georgetown would host the tournament final. Donnie Barnes here in the booth with John Schreiner. And John, like you said earlier, if you're Georgetown, I'm sure you'd love to host the final. They've won it 2 of the last 3 years. But on the other hand, playing a Marquette team that are playing so well, they know whoever advances, it's not going to be easy.
Well, it's a tournament final. I mean, obviously both teams are very good. And Georgetown, hey, they're the only team in the conference to beat Creighton this year. Maybe you draw some confidence from that. You know, Marquette has just been on fire and continuing to put goals away as they did here. Only team to score in the first half against Creighton this season. So Georgetown, I'm sure, very happy to be in that final, but not a dream matchup with either one coming up.
There are no easy matches this time of the year. So that's the bracket, that's the situation. When we come back, we'll have highlights and talk more about this opening half. It was an entertaining opening 45 at Morrison Stadium. More next on the Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
This is not a place that stands still. We are a community rooted in faith, nationally recognized for undergraduate research, pushing boundaries in business and healthcare education, and engaging the world, always striving to be the best in what we do. We are inspired and motivated by our outstanding students who will make their mark on the world. We stand together on the edge of our bold tomorrow, open to incredible new possibilities. This is our passion. This is the Creighton difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
We continue at halftime at Morrison Stadium. The Big East Tournament semifinal presented by SoFi. Marquette and Creighton locked in at 1 goal each at the break. Let's show you how we got here over the first 45 minutes. And John, both of these teams came out attacking as we suspected they would.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of scoring opportunities from both sides. This was an early one, a rip just past the near post. And then Creighton would have one of their own. Here's Sven Koenig with a beautiful ball across in between two white shirts. Nobody can get on the end of it.
And it would be on a similar play that Creighton would eventually take the lead midway through the first half.
Yeah, and it's a good run by Ferris, and it just gets thrown in there. Hawkinson opportunistically pounces on it and buries it. And it looked like Creighton were off and running, but under 2 minutes later, beautiful cross played in. Cruz touches it out, and then on the rebound, Luca Perpa, a second chance for Cruz to keep it out. Akeem Ward had a chance to keep it out. No one could, and we were back level. Creighton, though, nearly answered when Hawkinson almost doubled his account, but it was kept out by Barasa. Very close at the end line there. And one more opportunity for Marquette, a golden one missed by Perpa. So each goal scorer had another bite of the cherry and couldn't quite take it in that first half.
Yeah, that's one Luca Perpa usually does much better with. You figure there are more chances to come in the second half. We'll have that second half for you when we come back. The Big East Tournament semifinal presented by SoFi here on the Big East Digital Network.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
This is not a place that stands still. We are a community rooted in faith, nationally recognized for undergraduate research, pushing boundaries in business and healthcare education, and engaging the world, always striving to be the best in what we do. We are inspired and motivated by our outstanding students who will make their mark on the world. We stand together on the edge of our bold tomorrow, open to incredible new possibilities. This is our passion. This is the Creighton difference.
Moments away from kicking off the second half of this Big East Tournament semifinal presented by SoFi, Marquette, and Creighton. 1 goal each through the first 45 minutes. Donnie Barnes with John Schreiner. John, again, a pretty even first 45 minutes, but both teams had plenty of time on the attack.
Yeah, plenty of time on attack, loads of chances. Each team took advantage of one, but there were some left out there, Donnie, I think for both sides. We saw, of course, you saw the highlight of Luka Perpa basically standing all alone, 12 yards from goal.
Yeah.
And missing wide. And the other one was Hawkinson at the far post. His chance was a bit tougher, but you certainly could have seen that go in. And there's another one that we didn't see in the highlights that was a big missed opportunity very early for Creighton when Budati got down the wing and he had Akeem Ward standing all alone at the back post, and his cross went totally skew over the end line for a goal kick. That was another opportunity wasted. So, yes, each team has been great at creating opportunities, getting forward, pressing the opposition into bad turnovers and creating chances off of it. But the efficiency, you would say, in front of goal has not been great for either side.
And it'll be interesting to see in the second half, won't it, how these two teams decide to play. Because a lot of times, again, in a postseason game like this, a semifinal, you see teams get more conservative, more cautious as you go deeper into the second half. But again, especially in Marquette's case, I'm not sure that's in their DNA at all.
Yeah, and it's certainly not in Creighton's. Elmer Bolovich, I don't think it matters who he could play the 1966 England national team. And like, he would not sit back. He just, it's not how he coaches the game. It's not how he wants his players to play the game. And Louis Bennett is much the same way. You know, a lot of teams come into Morrison Stadium. They say, we're going to play dirty 90 minutes of, you know, bunkered in. You're not going to break us down. He won't do it. He said it 2 years ago when they were here. It doesn't matter. We're going there to press them. We're going to run up and down the field. We're going to try to beat them at their game. And they've done it here tonight, and they've kept pace.
Remember last year these two teams met in Milwaukee. Marquette ran out 4-3 winners. That was a match where they took a 4-0 lead, and Creighton almost came all the way back. 2-1 Creighton earlier this year, 1-1 through 45 minutes here tonight. Luis Barraza just now running back onto the pitch. You see him crossing midfield there in that lime green kit.
I wonder how many times he's seen these temps in Santa Teresa, New Mexico. Although New Mexico is a bit mountainous, so it's possible.
Yeah, certain times of the year. It is. Again, we talked about this in the first half. It's part of playing postseason soccer. The weather's going to get colder. The conditions are going to get tougher. Fortunately, we don't have any threat of rain or other weather in the area tonight, just really chilly, but still not easy to deal with, especially when you start the regular season in college soccer in the blazing heat of the late summer. Have to be able to adapt to any and all conditions in the NCAA game. We're back underway with Creighton attacking left to right in the white tops and bottoms. Marquette in the navy blue and gold. The Blue Jays and the Golden Eagles for a trip to the tournament final.
Creighton's so confident in their ability to win the ball back that off the kickoff, Rydstrand just bangs it down the wing, hoping that Hawkinson will run on. Totally loose with possession right there, just trying to create something off the kick.
Let's send it down to Emma Brosh on the touchline with a report.
Thanks, guys. Just spoke with Coach Bennett of Marquette coming back into the half and asked him maybe what his biggest adjustment would be going into the second half. And he said that he was very pleased with how the second part of the first half went for his team and how they were attacking on Creighton and they kind of got in their rhythm. So he said the key for them in the second half is not to drop off that rhythm, to kind of stay on top of Creighton. And it's really hard to break Creighton down, but he could see that with how they were doing in the second part of that first half, he's pretty confident if they continue that they're going to have success in the second half.
All right, thanks, Emma. As Creighton are going to have a free kick here midway inside the Marquette half. Jays just keep it in play immediately to Shiro. Joel Rydstrand. Long switch of play out on the right. Budati chases it down, tried to play the cross in, but it deflected off a Marquette defender. Just one player forward for Marquette. That was Diego Nunez. Jays cut that out.
that's just, Hawkinson got a little sped up. He had space to turn and look, and instead just tried to play the one-time ball, and it didn't come off.
So the Jays aggressively closing down. That was Espeleta who bothered the outlet from Segrist. Forward for Koenig. The flag goes up. He's offside.
And he certainly was. He tried to come back and get on, but the defender was running right with him, and he never quite made it back on side.
It's been quite a year for Sven Koenig. Again, led the Big East in goals, the Big East Offensive Player of the Year with 10 of them this season. But he's had matches where he's just kind of floated through the game and hasn't been able to contribute a whole lot. In fact, Elmar Bolovic dropped into the bench to start a couple matches late in the year. He won back his starting spot for the final couple, but Elmar Bolovic admitted this week he's an interesting character, and he's been up and down this year.
Well, you take that to mean whatever you want, I suppose, that he's an interesting character. You read into that whatever you want, because honestly, I don't know what to make of it. I can't make heads or tails of that comment.
Well, you said earlier, he's a finisher, he's a poacher. If you find him in the box in a dangerous spot, he can get you a game-changing goal. That's exactly what happened the first time against Marquette. He scored that match winner 34 seconds after Marquette had just leveled it up. But he's been fairly quiet so far tonight. And it only takes a moment for a striker of his caliber. Here's Akeem Ward. Wasn't able to get forward a lot in the first half. He's forward here. Pass was just a little bit behind Koenig, who tried to heel flick it back in his direction. Didn't quite happen. Segrist to the feet of Cohen. That's not a good ball. Rydstrand turned with it. Checks up and takes the safe option. That's Budati.
Yeah, we just saw a moment ago Hawkinson, I said, got a little sped up. It's something you never see from Joel Rydstrand.
Now toward Trostin with the cross partially deflected into the grateful arms of Barraza.
Barraza's had some work to do. This one certainly didn't test him. He's been solid. He's been effective, and outside of the one goal when he couldn't quite get a paw to it, been good between the posts tonight.
If that cross doesn't get deflected into Barraza's arms too, John, Luke Hawkinson was in some space there. Would have been interesting to see whether that ball would have reached him. This is going to be a foul against Creighton. 5 minutes into the second half, 1-1. Again, Luke Hawkinson in the 23rd minute. The Blue Jays, Luca Perpa answered back. Less than 2 minutes later in the 25th for the Golden Eagles. Down that right flank, this is offside. Creighton looking for their first Big East tournament victory since they moved to this conference earlier this decade. They've been in the final twice in the last 3 seasons, lost both times. Both times had to play away from home in that final. This year they would host if they were to win tonight. That is far from a certainty. Top of the 18, easily dealt with by Budati. Again, Marquette, they were last in the semifinal in 2013. That year they then went to the final and won it. Big East tournament champions in 2013. Some lean times since then, but rebuilding and peaking at the right time this year. This is Perpa. Jay's able to surround him and crowd him out, though.
Well, Marquette started putting some hay in the barn for this type of a run 2 years ago when they started so many freshmen, and they were coming up just short. Match after match after match, they were, losing by some freak occurrences. So many one-goal losses, but that has galvanized this team into the one you're watching run step for step with Creighton here tonight.
And you're watching Josh Cohen earn a corner for Marquette, their second of the match. I think Louis Bennett's disappointed, though, because Marquette, after that ball turned over, they had a chance to break. Probably didn't take the correct option. They will have a set piece, and again, they're always dangerous from those set pieces. It's Cohen to take. Right-footed in-swinger, inbound. Toward that front post, trying to flick it along was Nunez. Couldn't quite do so. It's out for a throw. Mitch LeGros heads that away. Here comes Espeleta. Lots of space for Akeem Ward. Troston has gone out to that left side now. Ran into traffic. Shots are 9-5 in favor of Creighton for the match.
When aren't they, to be honest?
Yeah, Creighton heavily outshot their opponents, almost by a 2-1 margin overall this year. It was better than 2-1 for most of the season. It tightened up a little bit over the last handful of matches. Here's Ward. Chance to put a ball in the box. Couldn't beat the first defender. He'll get another chance. This time with the right foot. He does swing it in. And Creighton screaming for a penalty. Nothing given. It was Espeleta who got tangled up.
And I think it's a slip. Watching it live, it looks like Espeleta loses his footing. We'll take a look. Yeah, there's nothing there.
Yeah, certainly not in a tournament game. You're rarely going to get a call like that.
No, the defender's holding position, and Espeleta is actually the one moving into the space that he's occupying. Very, very rarely are you going to get a foul call that way.
But that's a great ball from Barraza across the pitch. Right to his teammate Patrick Segrist. Allowing Marquette to start up an attack. Being a good goalkeeper, so much more than just stopping shots. Distribution, so important as well.
And just being the general for the defense.
It's another great ball. Again, right into the run of Segrist. Apparently that ball was out, and Marquette are incensed by that call. The linesman and Louis Bennett, you see him shaking his finger, saying no way was that out.
And Louis Bennett's got legitimate beef, Donnie, because he's right. There's no way this ball was out. No. I'm sorry, but it's not out.
And you can see why Marquette are frustrated, not just because it was probably the wrong call, but the linesman standing way down by the other end of the pitch, a long way from where that ball was. But here come the Golden Eagles now at the edge of the box. It's Perpa toward the top of the six, and it just came off the shin of Diego Nunez. But Marquette are knocking on the door.
Both teams look like scoring now. Just about every time they come up the pitch, there's a lot of space to be had, a lot of chances being created. And the question is, who can take it? Who can take advantage of all the opportunities?
Koenig racing for this ball, but he'll be beaten to it. A risky attempt there to shield him off. And Koenig thought he was obstructed. No call. Play continues, though. More slaloming from Ridestrand. Edge of the area, Ward arriving, but couldn't quite get there ahead of a man in navy blue. And now here come the Golden Eagles trying to counter. That's not a good ball. It'll come back at them again. Espeleta. He has Budati. But there's the sliding challenge of Leo Villa.
And you'd like to see Espeleta just play this ball out a little bit better. This is earlier when Koenig took the ball back. He wanted the call for the reach over the shoulder. I don't think he was going to get it.
Tashiro. Ridestrand. Tashiro again with a pocket of space.
It didn't take long for the drama to reappear in this half, did it, Donnie?
You could watch these two play every week. Their styles so perfectly complement each other. Here's Ward, dancing his way into the area, chipping it toward the top of the six. Still loose. Espeleta after it, but it rolls into Barraza. And he smothers.
Yeah, you need a better decision from Troston. He's got his back to goal with two players around him that he can pass the ball to, or at least attempt to make a pass, and instead he tries the turning shot. I think it's the wrong decision. spinning on your back foot and trying to take that shot with a defender on your back. If you can do it, more power to you, but most can't.
Yeah, you have to be pretty perfect with your execution to make that come off, don't you? Well, like you said, both teams are going to have chances in this second half. Who can take advantage of theirs? Creighton, somewhat bizarrely, still haven't had a corner kick this match. For all the attacking time they've had. But it's Marquette's turn to attack once again. Ball a little bit behind Segrist. And the throw goes Creighton's way. This is the 15th time these two programs have met in total. They're dead even at 7 wins each. But Marquette haven't won here in Omaha since before Morrison Stadium opened in 2003. They wouldn't care about that at all if they could win here tonight.
You could say that about a lot of teams, Donnie.
Yeah.
Not a lot of teams win in Omaha. At least not in this stadium.
Creighton all time since this stadium opened, 136 wins, only 25 defeats with 20 draws, as this one goes all the way through to Paul Cruz. Jays in postseason matches here at Morrison, they've had a bunch of them. 21 wins, only 4 defeats with 2 regulation draws.
You know, 2 of those happened in the same season against Providence.
Be a throw to Marquette. Of course, Creighton did lose their last match. It was here at home against Georgetown in the regular season finale. Yeah, and the Jays have not lost back-to-back home matches in the same year since 1985, long before Morrison Stadium opened. That was when they were still playing in a local park.
I don't even know where they were playing in 1985.
Boy, great feat from Diego Nunez, and he tried to slip Connor Alba in, but couldn't quite do so.
Yeah, that was the Rosenblatt Stadium days for Creighton.
Thanks to Rob Anderson for passing that on. Yeah, I forgot they used to play. Was that Rob Sims? Thank you, Rob. Yeah, I forgot Creighton used to play at Rosenblatt. Boy, Budati stayed on the ball too long there and turned it over. What can Marquette make from that? Segrist rolling into the box and cleared away by Legros. You can just sense the nerves and the tension rising now as we head toward the final half an hour. Every swing of the foot so important. Every kick could change the whole course of your season. Double substitution for Creighton as they send Anthony Macchione and Bryce Gibson onto the pitch. That's interesting because we didn't think we'd see Gibson back in this match.
Well, the way he came out of the locker room, still kind of trying to work that shoulder. He was wearing this heavy stadium jacket. Really didn't look like he was ready to go, but Gibson going to get back out there and give it a shot.
The Jays fans beating the drum to our right, but a couple Marquette fans who have made the trip answering the chants back down below us. Great atmosphere as usual here at Morrison Stadium, where the Jays enjoyed the 3rd highest average attendance in NCAA soccer this year. Space in the midfield for Marquette, however. This is Nunez. Out on the left to Cohen. Cohen toward the end line, right on goal. Cruz spilled it at first, able to regather.
And that one got to his chest. It was a good, hard, low shot from Cohen. And watch him go right by Budati. Just gives him a little inside shoulder, and then one touch, rip, right to the chest of Cruz, who very luckily bounced it right in front of him.
Yeah, Nunez was right there to pounce on it if he hadn't been able to gobble up that rebound. Both teams close to finding the breakthrough, but neither has yet. since they traded goals midway through the first half. Hawkinson for Creighton, Perpa for Marquette. Good control, at least initially, by Bryce Gibson, but then he was dispossessed, battling to try to win it back. Tashiro then nutmegs a man and does, and then he's tripped up for a foul, and this might be the first card of the match.
Yeah, Connor Alba's going to get dinged right here. Yellow card is coming out. That was a pretty cynical challenge from behind on a man who was breaking away.
And there's Tashiro again with that bulldog mentality, nipping in to win a loose ball back and earning a dangerous free kick.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of frustration from Alba too, because he's the player who lost the ball, comes in late from behind with the slide, studs up. I don't care if you make contact, it's a yellow card every time because you're playing recklessly at that point.
So now the Jays will line up this free kick. You see Joel Ridestrand standing over it. A couple young fans with the Jays banner. Very camera savvy they are, working their way right into that shot. The Jays stacking up across the top of the 18-yard box. Marquette playing a high line here. Ridestrand swings it in toward Gibson. He got his head to it, but couldn't direct it on goal.
Yeah, I kept my eyes on Gibson the whole time. I kind of had a feeling that's the direction they would go with his height advantage. And you're going to see they try to run Macchioni as a distraction around the whole formation and bring Gibson to the near post. Just wasn't able to get enough on it.
'63rd minute of the match. Diego Nunez went off for Marquette. So Lucas Sunason has come back into the match. Now the Jays, chance to break. Here's Koenig dancing in. Koenig stopped by Barraza. Still loose and turned just wide by Tashiro. Wonderful opportunities for the Jays. Had two cracks at it and couldn't find the back of the net.
Koenig just gets stoned by Barraza right here. Has a beautiful look at it. Barraza with the big foot, and there's the little pit bull, as you called him, Donnie. Just fighting his way in and creating a chance. But it's always a tough one, but he would have liked to put it on frame.
Well, mark that moment down. If Marquette go on and win this match, Creighton will look back at that with a lot of regret.
It's kind of the story of last season for Creighton. They dominate, they play well, they create chances, but the ball just won't go in the back of the net.
Now Marquette right toward the penalty spot, and there was Luke Hawkinson to clear it. Big race here. Macchioni was beaten to it by Leo Villa, and then a heavy collision. No foul either way. Ball out into touch, a Creighton throw. Or a Marquette throw, that is. 66th minute of this Big East semifinal presented by SoFi. Winner plays Georgetown on Sunday. Now an attack down the right side by Marquette. Good position by Gibson to just shield his man off it, as that was Alba. Now Koenig trying to counter. He doesn't have a lot of help right now, but he keeps possession. Tried to win the free kick. Referee wasn't buying it. Crowd irate.
And they shouldn't be.
And now we will have a free kick Marquette's way, as Josh Cohen was taken down, and well, you hear what the Creighton fans think of it.
And now Akeem Ward being shown a yellow. Potentially for something he said.
Well, emotions always high this time of year.
It might have also been something away from the ball. I think we're going to get a look at it. But it's not. There's nothing there. It's shoulder-to-shoulder contact. And I know, the crowd can yell and scream about it, but it's shoulder-to-shoulder contact with two players going after the ball. It's not a foul. And the referee, who's had his moments tonight for sure, appropriately makes a no call. It's not a foul.
Koenig to the run of Macchione. He has Ward sprinting into the box, tries to find him with a low cross. It was cut out. Back and forth they go. What a great semifinal this has been. There was Mitch LeGros stepping up to read that ball. Jays have been getting caught in their own half quite a bit the last couple minutes. Not really a lot of bodies forward when they try to counter. LeGros all the way forward. Now he turns it over.
LeGros so high up the pitch, he might get a nosebleed.
Yeah, he doesn't go that far forward very often at all. As you see him hustling back. Zach Wegner to the right side. I haven't heard much from Luca Perpa in this second half, but he can always spark to life at any moment. Patrick Segrist tries to drive it in. Boy, Rydstrand had to be careful as he was on the back of a Marquette player on the edge of that penalty area.
And those were my sentiments exactly, Donnie. Those were some dangerous challenges. I think I believe it was Sukai, if he goes down, that you forced the referee to make a big decision right there. It was not Sukai, it's Ruben Sanchez. I'm sorry, Josh Cohen. I'll get it right one of these times. It was Josh Cohen, and yeah, if Cohen goes down, that forces a really big decision from the official, and that's not what you want.
Yeah, and the referee's decision has gone against Creighton here as Marquette will line up a free kick. Nearly 3/4 of the way through normal time. And if we're level at the end of 90 minutes, we'd have sudden death overtime. If it's still level after 2 10-minute overtime periods, we'd have penalty kicks. We have to determine a winner here tonight. There will be no draws. Perpa standing over this free kick, along with Josh Cohen.
Cohen's usually the delivery man for Marquette.
But it is Perpa who sends it straight into the wall. And at the second attempt, he chips it into the box. The Jays defended that as well. They look to break. Here's Koenig, but a heavy touch. And it's sliced out of play. And this Jays crowd roaring back to life. Jays try to take a quick throw. Not being allowed to do so. They're going to make a substitution instead. As Ziad Ferris jogs back on and Koenig being taken off.
And this will push Macchione to that center forward spot as Ferris will come over on the right.
Jays winning a sequence of throws down this right side. A bit of a missed touch there by Rydstrand perhaps, but the Jays work with it. Toshiro just keeps that play alive. Good close control. And now Ward being harassed by the snapping Connor Alba, but plays it to Gibson, who has time to put a cross in. Now he does, toward that back post, and the volleyed attempt by Ziad Ferris. He couldn't steer it on net.
That's tough for Ferris, coming cold off the bench and gets such an early opportunity. It just doesn't look like everything's working right because he's a little behind the ball. And that'll happen in cold weather. There's no shame in it. It's bound to happen. Your muscles don't twitch as fast when you're coming cold off the bench.
So still, somehow we're level at 1. One of those matches that feels like it could easily be 4-4.
Or more.
And you wonder if it's just those little extra nerves that are involved in postseason play. Those finishes not quite as accurate as perhaps they normally would be. Patrick Segrist has had pretty active and dangerous second half down that left side, but not his best touch there. '70th minute of play. Well, this one breaks for Suneson. Suneson into the area, just shouldered off it by two defenders, enough for Cruz to come out and claim.
Now you heard Emma's keys in the open, the big breakdown. That was almost it for Creighton right there. Suneson can be deadly when he gets in front of goal. 5 goals on the season, and right there, Julius Ford just runs right over the top of the ball, but Legros and Budati come back and close it out. The big breakdown almost happened right there.
Trying to curl it into the path of Macchione was Ziad Ferris, not quite. That battle in midfield won by Marquette. Cohen, he has Perpa overlapping, spins acrobatically away from a defender, puts a little too much on it to that far side. It'll be chased down by Alba. Rolls it to Bohm, Stefan Bohm. Now clipped into the 6. Here comes Cruz to pluck it off a Marquette head. And Ferris dispossessed, only as far as Budati. Macchione good strength, but not as good control off his chest.
I've been really impressed tonight, Donnie, with the Marquette players' ability to just win the ball off the foot of dangerous attackers. Ziad Ferris is very tricky on the ball. Sven Koenig as well. And these Marquette defenders have done a really, really nice job tonight of denying them those extra nifty touches.
I see a Creighton player down here. This is Yunus Budati grabbing at that left hamstring, it looks like. That's never a good sign. Those hamstrings always so vulnerable on a night like this.
Certainly are.
And we were at 30 degrees when this match started. We're almost certainly in the 20s now. As you see Budati really struggling to try to shake that off. There are some little knocks you can play through. Hamstrings are awfully tough to do.
I can tell you from experience, Donnie, it was a night not too dissimilar from this one about 2.5 years ago that I tore my hamstring, and you aren't getting up from that. It is extremely painful.
Well, at least for now, Budati continues. And now a misplay puts Macchione in. Macchione at an angle, doesn't have the angle to shoot. Drops it back instead for Ferris. And put it across the top of the 6 to Shiro now on his right foot, drags one wide. Oh, a mistake at the back for Marquette this time gave the Jays a chance. Jays wanted a corner there. They thought that shot was deflected. It's a goal kick instead.
Macchione's going to come off? No. Will be Ferris as Koenig comes back on. 2 forwards in now for Creighton, but this is a big missed opportunity for Macchione. He doesn't get an early touch on the ball, and it chases him wide. He needed to get that first touch and go direct to goal. As it turned out, his non-touch took the ball wide and gave the defense time to recover.
Segrist now chips one in. Perpa couldn't get a shot away. Luca Perpa just couldn't get that ball to sit down for him in his shooting position. He scored Marquette's goal in the first half. And here they come again. And slid to the top of the area just behind Perpa this time. Jays win it back. Koenig, good tenacity in midfield. And then a handball called against Leo Villa. Free kick for the Jays.
There was a shirt pull in there that the crowd was howling about as well. It's the fouls, if they weren't rough enough, have gotten ramped up another level here as we're winding down towards 16 minutes to go in the second half, and you can feel it. The tension is rising.
Macchione, 3 defenders around him, seemingly with no space to work with. He tried to flick it along for Budati. Dangerous pass. Ward trying to get on the end of it, very calmly slid away by Barraza. trusting his teammate, who then turns it over to Bryce Gibson.
And Barraza's good with the feet back there. He's been really effective, not just with the hands, but with the boots on as well.
We've seen Barraza make a couple of great foot saves over these 2 matches against Creighton these last 2.5 weeks. There's another cross. Dealt with by the chest of Wagner. A couple half-hearted appeals for a handball, but that came off the chest, it appeared. And Marquette trying to spring a counter down the left. LeGros just got enough on that back pass for Cruz to clear it away. Every back pass just makes your heart.
For both sides.
Yeah. In a match like this, here's Perpa with the cross. LeGros is right there.
Just feels like both teams are playing with fire right now, Donnie.
They continue to go for it. End to end, this will be a corner for Marquette, their 3rd of the match.
Man, this game is balanced on a razor's edge right now. It just teeters ever so slightly one way or the other, and it's going to tip.
Well, as a neutral, that's exactly how you want it. For these 2 head coaches, probably not as much fun. Perpa to take this corner with his left foot. He swings it in. Another good delivery. Knotted away. Again, it was LeGros. Marquette have to have somebody come take this throw in. And eventually, it'll be Segrist. Josh Cohen. Segrist. Thumped it right into Hawkinson, who had closed him down. And then the Jays will have a throw. Substitution coming for Creighton. And we'll see Pepe Cejudo, the native of Mexico City, coming on for Luke Hawkinson, who was given a tremendous effort tonight. Again, Hawkinson scored the Creighton goal in the first half. Had a good chance not long after as well. Jay's hunting this ball down. Barraza again way out of his goal. He's comfortable doing that though. Here is Cejudo on the ball for the first time tonight, trying to make a late impact in this Big East tournament semifinal. Ward. Gibson gets there. Not a lot forward for Creighton. They do have Koenig in the box, Cejudo behind him. Now they have to pull up as the Marquette back line pushes forward. Now Toshiro takes the ball off the foot of Ward. Julius 4. On the right flank, lots of space there for Budati. Budati. Toshiro. Shot deflected. Toshiro goes for it again. Little hip check. And thumped away. Good work by Lucas Sunason to find a teammate. Less than 12 and a half minutes away from potentially going to sudden death overtime.
It's interesting, Donnie, how that first half played out. Connor Alba, Luca Perpa, they were so involved in every attack for Marquette, and they were just problematic for the Creighton defense. In the second half, has either one been really involved a ton? I don't think so.
No. Here's Ward. He's certainly involved. He chips it over the top for Macchione. It was swung away and then put out of play. And this will be the first corner of the match for Creighton. Hard to believe with all the attacking time they've had that they have not had a corner yet, but now they do.
And on the other side for Creighton, it was kind of the Luke Hawkinson show in the first half. And we haven't said his name very often here in the second either.
Yep. And now he's off the pitch, at least for the moment. Joel Ridestrand will take Creighton's first corner of the night. The referee having a word with a couple players, now blows his whistle. A goal here might win it. Into the area it goes. Gibson gets on the end of it, but right on the skip to Barraza. We've seen Gibson be a threat from set pieces many times this year with his height. Not quite enough power or direction on that header, though. And Marquette counter once more. Down the right side it comes. Toward the end line. Great block by Gibson, and he wins a goal kick. What a great defensive play.
His legs are very long, Tony. That's my expert analysis.
Sometimes it's a pretty simple game, isn't it?
He's got 5'7", Connor Alba, against 6'5". He might go 6'6". Probably going to win contests of length.
Certainly did there. 16 shots now for Creighton, 7 for Marquette. But 1-1 as we head for the final 10 minutes of the initial 90.
I think 5'7" for Connor Alba might be generous.
Yeah, you're right. That appears optimistic, but much like Udai Toshiro for the Jays, much like Akeem Ward, who's listed at 5'4", they play a lot bigger than their physical size. Such a great battle from these two teams already tonight. Far from over, far from decided. Winner plays Georgetown in the final on Sunday. Creighton win, it'll be right here at Morrison Stadium. Marquette win, it'll be at Georgetown. Georgetown gunning for their 3rd tournament title in 4 years. Creighton trying to get to their 3rd tournament final in 4 years and avenge a couple previous defeats. Marquette trying to get there for the first time in 5 campaigns. Next goal likely wins this one. Free kick coming from Marquette, and the Jays are going to have their first card of the match.
Yeah, this is a brutal challenge from Budati. He comes through the back of Cohen really viciously with no chance to win the ball. This is a very hard, very dangerous challenge, right? I mean, the contact isn't as bad as it looked initially, but that is still, again, it's late and it's reckless. He's got no chance to win the ball.
Yeah.
Not from that angle.
So Josh Cohen back on his feet, standing over this one. Marquette, it's slightly off your screen, but they have players lined up at the top of the box. Ball touched back to Cohen, plays it short. This is Wegner. Now chipped into the box. Here comes Cruz to pluck it out of the sky. Cruz took his time before punting it forward. Falls to Toshiro. Not the first touch he wanted.
Not the one he needed either.
It was neither. Well, this is a tricky situation that was well dealt with by Zach Wegner. Now Budati, who's on a yellow now, remember. Fans howling for a foul as Joel Rydstrand was tugged back briefly. The Creighton bench was on their feet screaming. But again, those kind of plays have been let go almost all night.
Only the cynical and the dangerous. That's all that's been called.
LeGros back to his goalkeeper. Maybe we're now finally seeing just a little bit of caution creep into both teams' play in the final 10 minutes of regulation. But this is Macchione. Good flick along into the path of Ward. And Ward trying to get past the defender. Partially does. Faces him up again. Akeem Ward with the right foot. Now switches to the left. Still dancing on the ball, Akeem Ward. Now double teamed. Still Akeem Ward. Now Toshiro. Fans again screaming for a free kick, nothing given. Budati into the top of the box. Koenig back to goal. Could only flick it up in the air. And now a free kick is given to Creighton on the foul by Perpa.
And this is the correct call because Perpa doesn't play the ball. He just undercuts Rydstrand from behind. He's not jumping. He's not trying to play the ball. He just goes into the body which is a dangerous move for the jumping player. See it right there. He doesn't jump. He just puts a hand out and doesn't provide any support, which when you go into a challenge like that, the jumping player is expecting resistance. When you don't give it to him and just undercut him, it's dangerous. It's a foul.
Yep, good spot by you. Now the Jays. This is a fairly central location, a little bit toward the right. About 25 yards out. Toshiro is there. So is Rydstrand. It is Rydstrand curling it over the bar.
He wants this ball to dip. He's trying to put the curl on it so it'll tuck in. Now Rydstrand has something to say to Luca Perpa about that foul. He's trying to just tuck that in the top corner and doesn't get on top of it enough.
Not a great ball there. Cut off by Cejudo, but a handball called. Apparently Cejudo used the arm. Ball took a quick skidding hop off this fast surface. I think Luis Barraza was warned about time wasting there. Card wasn't shown, but the referee said the next time you do that, there will be a yellow.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the benefit of time wasting would be. There's no draws in tournament play. And how confident can you be in the lottery of a penalty shootout?
Yeah, Marquette won one just a few days ago. It's always tough to win back-to-back penalty shootouts in a tournament. Saw Croatia do it at the World Cup this year, though. This one into the top of the 6. Marquette hope they don't need a shootout. The Jays defended that well. Now Koenig up on his own, past one. Trying to bring a teammate into the play. Now he does as he finds Rydstrand. Rydstrand being harassed. Spreads it back to Budati, who finds Cejudo, who is closed down. There's Legros. Back to Cruz. Both teams still pressing so energetically, and it's won back by Connor Alba. Alba took it away. Now Marquette on the offensive inside the final 5 minutes of the initial 90. Into the box it goes. Off the head of Cejudo to Segrist. Wanted to pull the trigger. Now into the box. Toward the 6. Knotted away by Legros. Still not clear. Ward, a dangerous challenge. Half-hearted appeals for a penalty from a couple Marquette players, but again, it's going to have to be pretty egregious to draw a penalty, especially at this point in the match.
Well, the ref has set the tone, and whether you like the way he's called the game or not, he's been pretty consistent in the way he's called it. The things that have not been fouls have not been fouls all night long.
Marquette put the ball back in play. A goal now would almost certainly win it, but that's not a good pass. Jays will have a throw. Now here come Creighton. Hawkinson back on the pitch, cleaned out, wins a free kick. This will be a yellow. And the Jays will have another dangerous dead ball situation in just a moment on the left side of the area.
And it's Leo Villa this time who gets shown the yellow for the sliding challenge, and I think Hawkinson just flicks the ball past him. And there's a pullback right there. And Villa got the ball.
Boy.
That's a tough one.
That is.
That's we're going to have to go to the dubious yellow card panel on this one.
Well, if Creighton were to score from this, Marquette would feel very hard done by. And still a discussion between a Marquette player and the referee. So who's going to line this one up? Looks like Sven Koenig wants it.
2 yellow cards each way now in this match.
Koenig has a 3-man wall in front of him. Barraza standing in the middle of his goal. Can Sven Koenig send Creighton to the final? No, Barraza had that near post covered.
Yeah, it didn't have enough pace to trouble Barraza. He had plenty of time to react and come across. Koenig didn't quite hit it hard enough.
Up in the air it goes toward midfield. Cejudo couldn't win the aerial duel. Jays were insistent that should have been their throw. Now a little tussle on the touchline, but Budati, who's on a yellow, smartly runs away from that. Crowd incensed that the throw went Marquette's way.
The whole match has gotten a bit testy now, Donnie. There's some salt in the water.
Well, so much at stake, so much tension. Might as well be sudden death at this point. Just over 2 minutes left in regulation. And now Toshiro wins the ball. This is 3-on-2 for Creighton. Yodai Toshiro takes it on left-footed and misses just wide.
And Luke Hawkinson is standing at the far post with his hands outstretched, asking why? Why did you take that shot? It's an aggressive take from Yodai Toshiro, but look at Hawkinson. There's nobody within 10 yards.
Yodai Toshiro went for glory himself. Wasn't far away, but you're right, Hawkinson was in an acre of space, and you wouldn't have bet against him finishing if Toshiro had found him. More shoving on the touchline. This throw goes Creighton's way. Inside the final 90 seconds of regulation, Jays turn it over to Luca Perpa. And then Perpa clipped from behind by Rydstrand.
This could be the bad one.
It is a yellow for Rydstrand.
That was heavily cynical from Rydstrand.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing there, doesn't he?
Absolutely. He's intending to foul the player running away from him with the ball. No doubt. I don't even think he would deny it if you asked him.
No, and it's a good foul, too, under the circumstance. That's Marquette's best player running through your defense.
It's a good foul as long as you don't have an official who takes
right.
issue with it and shows you the other color.
Which we've seen happen from that kind of foul. Meanwhile, free kick into the box. Jays deal with the initial one. And now this one blasted over the top by Alan Salmeron. Final minute of regulation.
I think what saves Rydstrand on that foul is it wasn't particularly dangerous. He didn't show the studs. He didn't get deep in and rake down the back of the calf. He just stuck the toe in, tripped him up. You know, after thinking about it a little bit, it's not a terribly dangerous foul. You're most often not going to be shown a red for something like that. But when you commit an intentional foul, you take your position on the field into your own hands.
Final 30 seconds. Budati, Rydstrand, back post, Koenig. Knotted to the edge of the box. Now Koenig on the turn, deflected. The volley from Ward is wide.
Well, it would have been spectacular if Ward could have kept it on frame. That one would have been replayed over and over. You might have seen it on some top 10s around the country.
And that's going to do it for regulation. We will have sudden death overtime in the Big East Tournament semifinal. Creighton went to overtime 4 times this year and were winless in those 4 matches. They lost twice and drew twice. Going winless, not an option for either team in this one tonight. Just a 2-minute intermission between the end of regulation and the start of overtime. Again, the goals just 2 minutes apart, less than 2 minutes apart in the first half. In the 23rd minute, Luke Hawkinson, unassisted, gave Creighton the lead, but it didn't last long because Luca Perpa leveled shortly thereafter in the 25th, and somehow those are the only 2 goals of the match.
Well, I'll tell you what. We had 2 goals in the first half, and I'd argue that the second half was more entertaining.
Yeah.
It was, hey, gladiator style. Are you not entertained? Standing in the middle of the pitch, trading blow after blow after blow, up and down the pitch, chance after chance after chance. I can't wait to see what overtime brings us.
You saw Louis Bennett a moment ago. There he is again. He always looks like a man in charge, and he certainly is.
Yeah, Louis, certainly a character. Native of Bristol, England. We never found out if he's a Rovers or City supporter. I'm just going to take a stab. I think Louis is a Rovers man. Just looking at him, you see the facial hair, the great gesticulations as he tries to fire his crowd up.
They tend to be the underdogs in that city, don't they? He's been in Milwaukee since the 1980s. He came there to play professionally and then got a job with Marquette. Actually, first got a job with the Wisconsin Green Bay before moving to Marquette. He's been coaching ever since. 23 years now. You see him urging his team to find extra energy for at least the first session of overtime. Again, we'll play up to 2 periods of 10-minute sudden death overtime. First goal wins it. We do have a longer intermission now. We're going to have 3.5 minutes till the kickoff. So we'll take a short break. When we come back, the kickoff of the first overtime for a berth in the Big East Tournament Final. It'll be right here on the Big East Digital Network.
This is not a place that stands still. We are a community rooted in faith, nationally recognized for undergraduate research, pushing boundaries in business and healthcare education, and engaging the world. Always striving to be the best in what we do. We are inspired and motivated by our outstanding students who will make their mark on the world. We stand together on the edge of our bold tomorrow, open to incredible new possibilities. This is our passion. This is the Creighton difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/.
Back at Morrison Stadium, 1-1 as we get set for the start of overtime. We still have about 1 minute and 10 seconds on the clock as we see the 2 goals. Again, these came in the first half. Luke Hawkinson bundling home the opener in the 23rd minute off a scramble in front. And again, the Jays' lead lasted less than 2 minutes as Marquette came right back with this tally from Luca Perpa. Paul Cruz almost kept it out, but it crept across the line. And now off we go in the first of possibly 2 10-minute sudden death overtime periods. Donnie Barnes along with John Schreiner. Emma Brosh is our sideline reporter. It's been everything we expected and more. The only thing we might have expected more of were goals with all the chances these 2 teams have had. Next goal wins it now. Luca Perpa.
A somewhat unbelievable 21 shots for Creighton in regulation.
There's Stefan Bohm stepping over the challenge award, letting it run across the end line. This will be the 4th corner of the match for Marquette. Yeah, you're right. It's hard to believe Creighton have had 21. Marquette officially only 8. It's felt much more even than that. Marquette will have a chance to create danger here. Luca Perpa to take the left-footed in-swinger. Toward that front post, flicked along. The Jays are there. Every touch feels so dangerous. Barraza swings it forward. Rydstrand will get there first. Didn't have a teammate on the end of that.
There truly is nothing like golden goal soccer, Donnie. It could all end at a moment's notice.
And this is the only place you get to see it anymore, because in international soccer, that's not the rule anymore. You play all 30 minutes of extra time at that level.
And it was only very briefly that world had the golden goal rule.
Of course, if we were still level after 2 10-minute overtime periods, we would have the dreaded penalty shootout to decide a winner and decide a finalist in the Big East tournament this year to play Georgetown on Sunday.
And no matter where you go, the penalty shootout is the ultimate decider.
Here's Ward. Briefly won it back, but then equally tenaciously, Stefan Bohm took it off of him. So many great efforts by players on both teams tonight. So running along the touchline, didn't go out of play, so then it's forcefully put out of play by Julius Four. It's going to be a dangerous throw for Marquette as they quickly put it back in. Jays have to be alert. Edge of the area. Wagner swings it in. Top of the 6-yard box. There's Bryce Gibson towering it away. Still not fully clear, though. A right-footed effort. A cannoning block by Ward. It goes out for a corner.
And that has to sting. 27 degrees outside, and Keem Ward takes one right in the thigh. Bang!
What you have to do this time of year. Ward sacrificing the body. Here's Perpa to take another corner. 5th of the match for the Golden Eagles. Here comes Cruz. He can only punch it. And he had a teammate there to finish the clearance. That was Julius Four who scrambles it away. All the pressure in Marquette's favor early in this first overtime.
Well, Julius Four had to take 2 touches in his own 6-yard box before he could settle and clear.
You don't get the chance to do that very often in that situation. He was fortunate he had the time in this case. Here's Sven Koenig. He's not had a lot of time on the ball lately. And Marquette have played really well, and here they come again. Trying to spring the upset and advance to the final. Perpa clips it in. And just extending and unable to bring it under control was Diego Nunez.
Well, when was the last time you saw this, Donnie? Creighton pinned back, just having to bang clearances out of the back. Marquette throwing the attack at the Blue Jays right now. A lot of teams would be ready to just sit back and, in this case, play for penalties because they've got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Not the Golden Eagles.
Almost midway through the first sudden death overtime period. Now the Jays trying to come forward, but went right under the foot of Luke Hawkinson. His control let him down. Sometimes that'll happen when you're 95 minutes into such a high-pressure match. Luis Barraza calmly thumps that away. LeGros is up for the header. Clip down toward the Marquette back line. Jays forced a turnover. Here comes Tashiro. Always so dangerous. Yurai Tashiro. Hakeem Ward, edge of the box. Ward into the area. Ward denied by Barraza, who got down just in time.
What a save from Luis Barraza. This is incredible. Ward just pure speed to the end line, and that was a blistering shot. Reaction save by Barraza.
Jays come again. Hawkinson charged down by the defense. Now Rydstrand miscommunicated with Gibson. Thought Gibson would stay by the touchline. Gibson was tucking inside instead. 4 minutes to play in the first overtime. "20-degree evening in Omaha. Teams battling through fatigue, battling through the cold. What a little back heel there. That was Nunez finding Connor Alba, who spread it back to his brother Martin. Now Stefan Bohm, faced up by Ward. Uses Alba. Perpa. Bohm was covered up. Now Perpa swings it into the box. Contested. Jays clip it away. Hawkinson just trying to hold up play, and he does well to earn a free kick. Crowd yelling as Marquette made sure Hawkinson didn't take the free kick quickly. Now the Jays get it back underway. Rydstrand, lots of space on the right for Budati. Rydstrand immediately in traffic. Budati again, 2 in front of him. He clips it through one, but touch a little too heavy.
Marquette closes down so well. It's a hallmark of how they like to play. They close down the ball very quickly, and they're really good at taking it off the foot of an attacking player.
Jays look to rebuild out of the back. Again, even in the 99th minute of the match, Marquette closing down, hunting the ball down, and they win it back. Connor Alba, the Jays get back defensively. Alba took the safe route. Final 2 minutes of the first overtime. Cohen in a little seam, trying to exploit it, but he couldn't get past Budati. It rolls across the end line, though. Ooh, the referee's given a throw. That looked like a corner. Apparently Budati just kept it from rolling across the end line and able to concede the throw instead. Substitution for Marquette as Lucas Sunesson hustles back on.
This is interesting. Sunesson, fresh legs coming in. Didn't play a ton in that second half. This could be a key substitution.
Throw taken short. Jays trying to defend the cross, and they do well. And they'll shepherd it out. And a corner given. The Jays can't believe that. Julius Four was convinced that went off a Marquette player. That's why he was shielding it out. Instead, Marquette will have their 6th corner. Final minute of the overtime. Oh, that's clearly off a Marquette player.
Yeah, Joel Rydstrand won the goal kick right there and was not rewarded.
So here comes the corner. High into that air. And Gibson got enough on it. Not fully clear yet. Alba to swing it back in. Sliced away. Here comes Cruz. Offside flag is up anyway. And Cruz wants to take this quickly. He has men forward. It falls to Koenig. Bothered right away, but he turns away from danger. Now Koenig forward. And now here is Sven Koenig, denied by Barraza. Ward blasts it high and wide. Oh, it was Hawkinson initially, 15 instead of 10, who played Koenig in. Barraza came out to partially clear with his leg. And then Ward, with the goal gaping, a difficult chance, couldn't put it on target. Let's send it down to Emma Brosh on the sideline with some thoughts on overtime.
Thanks, guys. So looking at this overtime, obviously there's high pressure from both teams, but you can really see the Golden Eagles trying to fight to get on top of the Creighton Blue Jays, and they've really put a lot of pressure on them. So it'll be a big test in this second overtime to see if maybe the Blue Jays can keep up that pressure they just showed in the last 30 seconds of the first overtime, and maybe build up that energy and step back on the Golden Eagles to create that pressure again and see if we can get some more chances. So just in the golden goal. It'll be another sense of high pressure here, and I'm looking forward to seeing another great overtime and hopefully some more exciting chances created by both teams. So back to you guys.
So a minute 20 on the countdown clock until we start the second overtime. Thank you, Emma Brosh. Donnie Barnes with John Schreiner. Well, John, final 10 minutes now of open play before we possibly go to a penalty shootout. And you know both teams don't want to think about it, but it's hard not to at this point. It's sort of in the back of your head, but you have to stay focused, have to stay locked in defensively.
Yeah, that's the big key now is you don't want a defensive letdown. And the way both of these teams play, and if you've watched this whole match, you can't deny it, they'll give up a little bit of defensive stability to gain a little offensive advantage. That's how they both play. So now the real question is, who wants to risk it? Who's willing to keep throwing bodies forward with the chance that it could expose them to that crucial counterattack? That the defense that holds up may end up being the one that doesn't risk it.
And you know who loves watching this tiring overtime session take place? So the Georgetown Hoyas. They wish these two teams could play 180 minutes if possible.
Yeah, they're saying no penalty. Play it again tomorrow.
Go back to the old replay system that they used to have in England years ago. Well, that's not the case. Nobody scores in the next 10 minutes. We'd have a shootout, but still 10 big minutes. Maybe less than that if somebody does score, that sudden death winner. Again, the winner to the Big East Tournament Final on Sunday. The loser possibly done for the year. Forward it goes into the path of Hawkinson. Hawkinson puts it off a Creighton defender for a corner. Boy, he had Koenig in a lot of space in the middle of the 18-yard box. I think that's who he was aiming that cross toward. Instead, a second corner of the match coming for Creighton.
Yeah, Hawkinson, good job to bring it down. Peels for a handball, but
corner taken short, back into the area. Here's Koenig swinging the right boot. And again, dragged it wide. Jays took that corner almost immediately. It's their 25th official shot of the match. Marquette with 9. And again, it hasn't felt nearly that lopsided.
9 of those 25 on target for Creighton.
Yeah, Luis Barraza, the Big East goalkeeper of the year, has played like it tonight, and now Marquette with a chance to counter. Lucas Sunason. That'll be easy for Paul Cruz, though.
A better ball right there, and Connor Alba probably walks it into the back of the net. Cruz was coming off his line, but Alba so quick, as we've seen so many times tonight, you'd bet on him rounding the keeper and slotting it home.
Marquette wanted a foul for a shove on Hawkinson. Not given. Marquette win the ball anyway. Now Hawkinson will be penalized this time as he knocked down Zach Wegner. Inside 8 minutes to play. Josh Cohen. Had Segrist to his left, didn't use him. Now Segrist on the ball. Wegner, Cohen facing up Gibson. Tried to put the cross in, Gibson rejected it. Cohen again. Switching to the left, does get the cross in this time, but easily dealt with by 4. And now Koenig trying to turn away. On a big sliding tackle from Leo Villa, who won the ball back.
Yeah, and Villa's on a yellow card, and he went in studs up on that. If he doesn't get the ball, he's probably off the pitch.
Risky challenge, it worked. Now Perpa wriggling into the area, but Budati just got a challenge in. Wegner though, Segrist. Low along the deck, and what a stop by Paul Cruz, reaching out that long left arm and reeling it in.
Oh my goodness, we almost ended it right there, Donnie. It looked like Sunison was going to have a chance to run onto it. He just let it go. He just let it go. If Sunison gets a touch, it's probably in the back of the net.
Yeah. Yeah, that's... I don't know if he tried to make contact and couldn't get a boot on it or if he just deliberately let it run. Clock has been stopped with 6:26 on it. Waiting for Barraza to run this ball forward. There was offside given against Creighton. Barraza saying to the referee, look, it's a tie game. Why would I be trying to waste time? I'm not going to rush things, especially when every kick is so critical. Now the free kick taken. Spinning through that mid-20 degree air. Goes right back up into it. Koenig couldn't bring it down the first time. Took a knock to the back of his head. Did that stay in play? It did, but it's easy for Cruz.
And the substitution that we missed, Donnie, is Connor Ramlow has come on for Creighton. One of the few appearances for him this season.
Ramlow scored a goal off a free kick, a headed goal against St. John's last year. This one out of play in Marquette's favor.
Creighton have gone through just about every player they're willing to play tonight off the bench. Ramlow, Cejudo, they've all come in.
Ooh, a big coming together there. Not really in the body, just balls. A ball cannoning off bodies. It was a good calm step around meanwhile by Martin Alba, but then he couldn't find Segrist. Throw into the Jays. Another substitution for Creighton now as Ziad Ferris comes back on. And Connor Ramlow goes right back off. So a quick cameo for Ramlow. Now Ferris to Hawkinson and didn't have anybody forward.
And again, it's Hawkinson. I don't want to be too critical. He's played a really good game tonight, but that's another one of those opportunities he had where he tries the turning one-touch volley, and he had time to turn and look. Just a little bit sped up.
And I'm sure when you're in sudden death overtime, the last thing you want to do is turn the ball over and see it come right back at you by a good counter-attacking team like Marquette. But you're right, just got himself too sped up in that case. Throw into Creighton with 4.5 to go in the second overtime. That's how much separates us from a penalty shootout to decide a tournament finalist. Toshiro takes it down. Leaves Akeem Ward with too much to do. That somehow stays in play, and Toshiro comes back to reclaim it. Space for Ridestrand to turn forward. Brings 4 into the play. Can he find Ferris? He's bundled to the ground. Not enough for a free kick, though.
There's nothing in it. I think Ferris goes to the ground too easily here, Donnie.
Good stop-start move by Segrist, who wins a throw. Referee feeling Segrist is stealing a few too many yards, forces him to back up. 3.5 to go in the second overtime.
Which is a really good time-wasting tactic if you're into it.
Good tackle there by Ferris. Throw in right at that midfield flag for Marquette. Well, again, Marquette just won a penalty shootout in the quarterfinal a few days ago. Not yet there yet, though. Koenig, that ball punted straight up in the air. Hawkinson tried to shield it out and does, just barely. Throw in Creighton, 2:45 left. Budati to take. Haven't really seen anybody try a long throw tonight. Not really something either team does much. Budotti, Ferris, by the corner. I think he was just trying to put it off the defender for a corner. Didn't quite work. He'll win a throw instead. Ticking toward the final 2 minutes of overtime. This one does go into the box. Ward was there, but it was defended away. That's another Creighton throw. 2 minutes left. Jay's spending a lot of time on this attacking right flank. Haven't been able to create anything meaningful from it, though. Bouncing crazily off this lively turf. Can Marquette build one more attack? Here they come. Perpa gave it out on the right. Sprinting forward is Stephen Bohm. And a great sliding tackle by Akeem Ward. The senior with a crucial intervention. And now it's Creighton's turn to attack again. And trying the chip forward was Rydstrand. I think he was looking to hit Hawkinson, didn't put enough on it. Here come Marquette. Ball forward, Cruz out of his area, has to use his feet and does. And then Toshiro, all 5-6 of them, wins the flick on. 1 minute to go in the second overtime. 1 minute until penalties to decide a winner. Marquette aren't done yet. This is Connor Alba. Now Luca Perpa switches to his right. Perpa just tackled away before he could pull the trigger. 35 seconds left. Great tracking back by Hawkinson, who's then wrestled to the ground, and that'll be a yellow. This is Stephen Bohm, who will go into the book. And just as I said, it was a good foul by Budotti in regulation. That's an equally good foul by Bohm there.
Yeah, and Bohm had no choice. He had to bring Hawkinson down. He had no cover behind him. And with Hawkinson running away, you'd imagine Koenig's going to get in on that attack too. It was too dangerous a situation to let play out.
Free kick thumped forward. The Jays create one more opportunity. Budotti couldn't keep it in play. 20 seconds left. And Marquette appear content to let this clock run down. We will take a very quick break when this clock expires and then come back for the penalty shootout. 110 minutes, not enough at Morrison Stadium. The Big East tournament finalist will be decided on penalty kicks when we come back. The Big East tournament semifinal is presented by SoFi here on the Big East Digital Network.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
This is not a place that stands still. We are a community rooted in faith, nationally recognized for undergraduate research, pushing boundaries in business and healthcare education, and engaging the world, always striving to be the best in what we do. We are inspired and motivated by our outstanding students who will make their mark on the world. We stand together on the edge of our bold tomorrow, open to incredible new possibilities. This is our passion. This is the Creighton difference.
Hallelujah.
And this is just one night. You should see what we do during the day. Marquette University. Be the difference.
It's time to fuel your ambitions by taking charge of your student debt. At SoFi, we've helped over 250,000 people refinance their student loans, saving thousands of dollars. Now you can pay off your student loans faster and reach your goals sooner. See how much you can save in just 2 minutes at SoFi.com/save.
The Big East Tournament semifinal here at Morrison Stadium between Marquette and Creighton is presented by SoFi, and they're certainly getting their money's worth tonight. We've played 110 minutes. It's not been enough to determine a winner. When to determine the second finalist in the Big East Conference Tournament this year. Again, the winner to face Georgetown in the final. Creighton and Marquette level at 1 through regulation and overtime. Luke Hawkinson scored for Creighton in the 23rd minute. Luca Perpa quickly answered less than 2 minutes later in the 25th. Now 5 penalty kicks aside at least to determine a winner. Now Marquette, we talked about it during regulation. They went to penalties just 3 days ago against Xavier in the quarterfinal match. They went to 9 rounds before prevailing. John Schreiner, well, talk about how it's a lottery.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of skill involved, too, and not
Certainly.
Just skill, but the ability to hold your nerve and be mentally strong.
Yeah, and there are different ways to look at it. You know, the way a coach selects his penalty-taking lineup, it's not always the guys you would think. You might be a defender in there who takes a really good penalty and has the mental fortitude to do it. Sometimes your superstar center forward is the guy who's got some gears that aren't turning right upstairs, and he just doesn't have it to take that crucial penalty. But, wow, what a way to end it, Donnie. I've never been part of calling a penalty shootout, so here we go.
Well, Creighton have not been part of one since 2014. They lost here at Morrison Stadium in the Elite Eight against UMBC 4 years ago. As you see Paul Cruz amping up the Creighton fans who have moved behind that goal where the penalty kicks will be taken. You saw a moment ago Paul Cruz and Luis Peraza, a nice moment as they embraced each other. You often see that between goalkeepers before a penalty shootout. And really the pressure's
Certainly.
not on them. You make 1 or 2 saves, you're a hero. The pressure is all on the penalty kick takers because obviously you're expected to score.
Looks like Creighton will go first, and they're sending Sven Koenig, a leading scorer in the conference this season, out to take the first one.
Koenig has not taken a penalty kick this year. The Jays only had 3 penalty kicks. They converted 2 of them. Kuba Polot made them both. Luke Hawkinson the one miss, but it will be Koenig. Scored 10 goals during the regular season. The Big East Offensive Player of the Year. Trying to get Creighton off to an ideal start in this shootout. Koenig off the post. The save by Barraza. He got enough on it. Touched it off the woodwork. And Marquette with the early advantage.
There's no read from Barraza on this one. It's a straight guess. He's moving before Koenig strikes the ball. He guesses right, just does get enough. And it's a first miss as the Big East Goalkeeper of the Year makes the big save.
And now the pressure is on the freshman Paul Cruz to respond.
As the Creighton team at midfield urges the fans behind that goal to get loud.
It's Luca Perpa, Marquette's leading scorer, keeps his nerve and puts Marquette in front 1-0 after 1 round.
And Luca Perpa, 5 for 5, not including shootouts, career taking penalties for the Golden Eagles. That's a perfect one. Perpa made his penalty kick against Xavier in round 1.
And now Julius Four needs to convert for Creighton. Only the second round, but you can't afford to fall behind by 2 in a shootout. Four steps up and scores. Oh, it looked like that might be going over the bar, but he tucked it just underneath. 1-1.
Into the roof of the net. What a dangerous penalty, but if you can execute it, it's nearly unstoppable. As Julius Four with the gilt edge penalty.
Josh Cohen slowly walking forward. Paul Cruz out to meet him. A little gamesmanship here. It is 1-1. This is the bottom of the second frame. Cohen with his right foot. Saved by Cruz. He answers Barraza's earlier stop. 1-1 through 2 frames.
And Cohn made his against Xavier. He was key in that one. But take a look. It's not well taken. It's at a savable height, and it's not far enough to the corner. It's a pretty routine save for Paul Cruz. He didn't have to move before the kick. He could read it and make it.
We talked about the gamesmanship too, and maybe he succeeded in getting in Cohen's head just a little bit. Now Akeem Ward, the senior, who has been so integral to this Creighton team. Akeem Ward, top of the third frame, for the lead, and he gives it to them. Calmly waiting and eventually sending Barraza the wrong way. Nerves of steel from the senior.
Well, it's a choppy little run up. He's just trying to read Barraza's body language, which way he's going, and then pick the opposite way, and does it perfectly.
2-1 Creighton. This is the bottom of the third frame. And now the pressure shifts to Marquette and to Zach Wagner, the redshirt freshman midfielder. And Cruz got a hand to it but couldn't keep it out. Off his fingertips, into the back of the net. 2-2 after 3 frames, and Cruz can't believe it.
Yeah, he wants that one back. He almost dove too far.
Yeah.
As Wagner putting it right at him.
So 2 goals each after 3 kicks each. And Mitch LeGros will be the 4th shooter.
As I said, sometimes it's the defenders who have that stillness of mind.
Another senior, the Dallas, Texas native. Saved by Barraza. Advantage Marquette again.
And this is a decent penalty from Mitch LeGros. It's not bad. He puts it right to the corner, but Barraza gets across nicely and makes the big save.
Patrick Segrist, who converted his penalty 3 days ago. The junior steps up, off the bar. Both teams miss in the 4th round. Still tied at 2 as we go to the 5th.
A little too cute there from Segrist. He tries to send Cruz the other way and ends up getting his body out of shape. You see what he's trying to do, lean away and send it back the other way, but that lifts the toe, and he gets it off the crossbar.
And Joel Rydstrand, the senior midfielder, the Sweden native. 5th and theoretically final round. So much tension, so much pressure. Rydstrand scores! Just under the diving paw of Barraza, who again went the right way, and now Marquette must convert.
That keeps it low, and low is as hard to save as high. And when it's put to the corner, the low corner, it's nearly impossible.
11.
Connor Alba making the long, slow walk up
Yes.
as the fans try to put him off. Alba must score or else Creighton advance. Alba does score. And we play on. 3-3 after the 5 kicks. We'll go to a 6th round.
Just a well-struck ball. He reads the body language from Cruz and places it perfectly in the back of the net. Nothing cute, just good execution.
Now Yunus Boudadi, picked up as a transfer going into this season. Top of the 6th frame, tied at 3. And Boudadi sneaks it past Barraza, who continues to dive the right way. Got a fingertip to it. Not enough. Into the corner it went. And again, Marquette must convert or it's over.
This is side net for Boudadi, and this is nearly impossible. Spinning away from the diving keeper into the side net. Barraza manages to get a fingernail on it, but not enough.
Martin Alba stepping up now. Short run up. Puts it into the corner. What a great penalty. It's 4-4 after 6, and we go on again.
Amazing. This is high drama. Martin Alba, the redshirt senior. Look at that. How much confidence is right there, aiming for the top corner.
Here is Anthony Macchione, 7th frame of the shootout, tied at 4. And Macchione thunders it home.
That was just all power. Macchione said, stop it if you can. I'm going to put everything I got behind it. Have a peek. Just plant and fire.
Here is Lucas Sunesson, a freshman. All the pressure on him. Again, if he fails to score, Creighton win. Sunesson rolls it home. Another calm finish under so much pressure, and we'll go to an 8th frame.
5-5 through 7. Look at that. That is cool as a cucumber right there for the Swedish.
Juraj Toshiro, the little pit bull, as his head coach called him this week. Top of the 8th frame, 5 goals each. And Toshiro makes it 6-5 Creighton.
Pressure back on Marquette now.
Remember, Marquette prevailed in 9 frames 3 days ago. Oliver Passarelli, junior defender from Verona, Italy.
Oh, an Italian taking a penalty, Donnie.
Shades of Roberto Baggio in the '94 World Cup. We'll see. Passarelli stutter steps and scores. We go to a 9th frame, tied at 6.
This is the tie that won't be broken.
Who's next for Creighton? It's Daniel Espeleta. He's a freshman from Costa Rica.
Could we possibly see goalkeepers taking penalties?
We're getting close. Espeleta. Creighton asked him to put them in front again. He does! And Barraza again looked like he got fingertips to it, but it was another well-struck penalty.
Yeah, he gets enough height on it. That's the key right there. He gets enough height. Barraza not able to touch it. When you hit those balls at about knee high, that's perfect height to get down and make that save. Espeleta gets it up around shoulder high, and that's tougher.
Again, Marquette must convert. This is Leo Villa. Cruz couldn't keep it out. He got there. He got his hands on it. He couldn't steer it away. It's 7-7 as we go to the 10th.
Cruz guesses right. It's savable. He just doesn't get high enough with the hands. His fingertip is underneath it and it rolls over.
And now it will be Luke Hawkinson taking his time on what must feel like such a long walk up to the penalty spot. 7 goals each in 9 rounds. This is the top of the 10th frame after we were 1-1 through regulation and overtime. Luke Hawkinson for Creighton. Scores right down the middle.
Yeah, he sent Barraza the wrong way. This is a really good run-up by Hawkinson.
So after both goalkeepers stopped 2 of the first 4 shots, Creighton have converted their last 6, Marquette their last 5, and yet again, for the 6th consecutive round, all the pressure on Marquette, who must make to continue this match, and Stefan Bohm is the latest to assume that pressure for the Golden Eagles. Bohm, who had a great match tonight, a straight run up, and he thumps it home. What calmness from these Marquette players.
Incredible.
8-8 now as we go to the 11th frame of the shootout. As we look at Bohm's penalty again. Also straight down the middle.
Well, I've never heard of a penalty shootout going wraparound where we had to go back to the beginning. But Donnie, we're 2 rounds away from that being true.
Well, and this is Sven Koenig, I believe, who took the first one for Creighton. It is. Sven Koenig's already converted once in this shootout. He converts again. You're right, he missed the first time, so he converts this time. It's Barraza who stopped him. Remember, tipping one off the post. It's been so long, can't even remember. It's 9-8 Creighton.
We have wrapped back around now.
Yeah.
And it's Luca Perpa who will step back up for Marquette. His second penalty of this shootout. Unreal.
And he did make his first one. And he must make his second. Otherwise, Creighton would advance.
He's never missed a career penalty kick.
Paul Cruz shimmying along that goal line, trying to put him off. Will it work? No. Perpa slams it home. 7 straight must-make penalties converted by Marquette. And we go to a 12th frame, tied at 9.
That is fortitude, my friend. And another confident stroke from Luca Perpa right into the top corner.
So it will be a second take for Julius 4. 9-9 after 11 frames of an increasingly epic penalty shootout to determine a Big East finalist. Julius 4 chips it off the bar, and now Marquette have match point.
Oh, Julius 4. He tries the Panenka. After he slammed one into the top corner, he tries the Panenka, and too much on it.
And it's Josh Cohen who could win it for Creighton and incredibly send them through to the Big East tournament final.
Wow, what an upset for Marquette this would be.
Josh Cohen for Marquette rolls it home. And the Marquette Golden Eagles advance to the Big East tournament final for the first time in 5 years. Creighton, the regular season champions, are out.
I don't even know what to say. It's the match that wouldn't end. And finally it does. Julius 4 tries the chipped penalty that doesn't come off. And then Josh Cohen. My goodness.
And yet again, what an incredibly calmly taken penalty from Marquette, who had to convert 7 consecutive times and did, and then finally handed an opportunity to win it, did that too.
Incredible. What a job by Louis Bennett and company. This team was paddling in open water, just trying to stay afloat in the middle of this season. And down the stretch, they have been phenomenal. Now winning 6 of their last 7 matches, avenging the only loss in that stretch right here with an amazing penalty shootout victory. Watch out, Georgetown. Marquette is coming.
And you see the heartbreak for the Creighton Blue Jays. They've had such a tremendous season, but faltered at the semifinal round of the Big East tournament. And now they'll have to wait and see whether they gain an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament. They certainly have a chance to do that, but it is far less certain now than they preferred and hoped and expected it would be.
I mean, what a turn of events that would be for this squad to rise as high as 8th in the country at one point. And now, Donnie, they've lost their last 2 times out on the pitch.
Yeah.
This is a team that at one point looked like it was going to go undefeated through the regular season and really walk to the finals of the conference tournament. And here we are. We're talking about Creighton, a team that's going to finish 11-5-2 on the season, maybe not getting into the NCAA tournament.
But congratulations to the Marquette Golden Eagles as you see them celebrating with their traveling fans. What a win for them. They prevail in another epic penalty shootout. Let's send it down to the touchline where Emma Brosh is with the victorious coach, Louis Bennett.
Thank you, Donnie and John. Congratulations, Coach, on another PK shootout win. So With 2 PK wins in the past week, like what tactics do you have when you go into these shootouts? What do you tell your guys?
Well, we practice them nearly every day, and then each guy's got 1 or 2 signature penalties, and some of them had to take 2 today. But I mean, obviously, it's a strange way and it's an uncomfortable way to win in a penalty shootout. But to be honest with you, I thought this is one of the best performances that we've had all year. We are clearly the underdogs in this situation, and I always say to our guys, there's a difference between an underdog and a wounded dog, and never at any stage tonight did we look like a wounded dog. I thought we stood toe-to-toe with them. I thought we played very well. I thought Luis made some good saves, and I think their goalkeeper made some good saves. I thought that was 2 equal teams. I mean, Creighton has been the class of the season, winning the regular season, and I thought they're a very good team.
So anything specific you're going to focus on in preparation for Georgetown on Sunday?
We're all going to take a big, deep breath and just lick any wounds we might have and make sure our training staff will do a great job, and then we'll start focusing on. We played Georgetown last year. We played Georgetown last season. I can't even get my words out. We played Georgetown this season with only 10 men for about 35 minutes. So we'll try to keep 11 men on the field.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Well, they've played 110 minutes plus 19 penalty shootout rounds over the first 2 rounds of this Big East tournament, John Schreiner. They'll only have a few days to prepare now for a final on some tired legs, but they could not possibly care less.
Well, this was amazing, and I don't want to look ahead too much, but I'm going to. I remind you that Georgetown and Marquette played to a double overtime 0-0 draw in the regular season. What an epic Big East tournament final we have coming up. This one was tremendous here today. I'm left speechless after this one.
Well, that'll be it for us tonight. For John Schreiner, I'm Donnie Barnes. Emma Brosh has been our sideline reporter. Dean Andrick has been our producer. Thanks for joining us for this Big East tournament final on the Big East Digital Network.
Thank you.